sabi, wetin we carry for her. But they move closer before them go sabi. I said they never know wetin we carry for body. But they move closer before them go sabi. Ọ̀kìn lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ ni ń lo ló lajú. Ẹyẹ tó dorí kodò bí àlọ́ ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa. Ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè tó dúdú àga. Òdúdú àkóbá lè gbé wá. Ọmọ òdúdú á ṣe kiri. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀. Ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé. Kélẹ̀ ilé rí. Àwa lè gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé. Ká lè káde adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Bí ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá. Koiki Media, àwa là ń gbétò lárugẹ. Ètò tó gbójú gbogbo tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. Kásá. Ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé gbogbo ayé jẹ. Ètò tó gbójú gbogbo tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. À ń gbétò lárugẹ, à ń gbásà lárugẹ. Ètò tó gbójú gbogbo tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. News and sports, ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ètò tó gbójú gbogbo tí wọ́n mọ̀ ní. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ ni ló ní kí n máa gé tata. Koiki Media, ọ̀rọ̀ lágbájú mọ̀ mi. Má bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ̀, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi. Ṣẹ́yìn lọ́mọ fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀. Igbó máa wọ̀ sájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀. Àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ̀ á tẹ̀lé ní bọ́ra. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ náwó òyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dé tún pọ̀ sí o. Koiki Media, sáwa ní bàbá. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Àdàtọ̀, àtúnpèrè gidi. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Àwa là ń gbétò lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́n o. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Ikú tó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. We bring you one closer to your doorstep. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kan jòkó lára ni. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ní bàbá o. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Odùduwà lágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sọ̀dí kẹta. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Àdúró tán, àtúnpèrè gèdè. Koiki Media, àwọn ní bàbá. Koiki Media, we bring you one closer to your doorstep. Àwọn ní bàbá. Koiki Media is around. To give us status. Is around o. To give us status. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹkún kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ̀kẹ́ tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó gbójú gbogbo. Ladies and gentlemen, ẹkún kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ̀kẹ́ tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó gbójú gbogbo. Koiki Media is around. To give us status. And a very good evening. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a tún kábọ̀ sórí ètò tiwantiwa ti Yorùbá Nation Campaign lòun ni ti bí báyìí. Èní á sì máa jẹ́ ọjọ́ 9 nínú oṣù kejìlá ọdún 2023. Tó o báyìí tí mo bi tó ń pe bíbà ló ń pè ní Koiki Media. A ṣì wà ní day 2 torí pé asọ́lànà pé 48 hours
àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ti respond adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti respond a máa fún yín ní update ní orí ètò ti tàlẹ́ yìí it might be a long one it might be a short one bí alágbára tí ó bá ṣe ní ó máa jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ìjáyà ó ní Mr. Koiki mo bẹ̀ yín ni bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti ń wọnú ètò ẹ tún jẹ́ ká máa fi lé ká máa fi kún bọ́ ká tó fi ìyẹn kún à play anthem wa mo expect pé gbogbo àti darapọ̀ mọ́ orí ètò èyí tẹ́yìn lè ṣe ni pé nígbà táwa ti jáde live lélẹ̀ ó yàtọ̀ sí repeated ó yàtọ̀ sí ìtẹ́ tí máa ṣe ẹ̀dọ́mọ ní wọ́n ti ṣe tán ẹ̀ ń wò live ẹ bá wa pín ẹ lọ pe àwọn èèyàn wá pé Yorùbá nation òun làwa tún sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ wọn náà àwọn èèyàn ti ń dúró dè mí ẹ má bínú ẹ mọ̀ pé ní Saturday family affairs ó dẹ̀ wà important ẹ̀yin náà lẹ ní family is important bó gbogbo Yorùbá ẹ̀yin náà ní family wa mo kí olóyè Ìgbòho a ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ ètò ní ẹja kí Ìgbòho sílé torí pé Ìgbòho gangan ní the voice àti bàbá Kítóyè mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri ibi tẹ́ bá ti ń wò mí ní gbogbo àgbáyé kíkí máa pọ̀ lé nítorí pé Koiki sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá àwọn èèyàn respond in tá à ń fẹ́ nìyẹn inú mi dùn pèsè orí ètò tiwa yìí ó yàtọ̀ nítorí pé kí ni it is a different kind of program ibi tíyàn ti ń kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ òun ni bíbá ẹ máa jẹ́ kíyàn kan sọ fún ẹ pé kò ní bọ́ sí gbogbo àwọn tó ní kò ní bọ́ sí àwọn kò máa bọ́ sí lọ́jọ́ sọ pé kò ní bọ́ sí tó bá ti lè bọ́ sí that will be the end of it àìtí gba country o don't let anybody fool you pé Yorùbá country ti wà in existence èmi sọ̀rọ̀ as an international media kò sí anywhere ní gbogbo àgbáyé tó sọ pé Yorùbá is a country but we are in the process yẹn lábẹ́ bàbá wa Professor Banji Akitoye lábẹ́ gbogbo àwọn bàbá tó ń bẹ ní ẹ̀yìn wọn àti àwọn ìyá lábẹ́ bàbá wa Dr. Olóyè Sunday Igboho ẹjẹ́ àkísílẹ̀ náà mo kí ẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Igboho ṣá.
ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ gidi gan-an ni fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá dàda orí ni ọmọ adéyẹmọ ọba ti kú ọ̀tá ìbáyọ̀ wọn ní alákọ̀ọ́rí ọmọ ti lọ wò ó èyí tí wọ́n ròyìn yẹ̀ tó lówó ọba ńlọ kúkú sẹ́ Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣàṣẹ́bẹ̀ lọ wà ọjà máa dúpẹ́ Olódùmarè ọba òkúri tó ọba ti dàbí wèrè pọ́jọ́ òní ó tó pé ńkọ́ kí lọ fẹ́ wá láàrin àwọn ọmọ adarí mú gan tàbí tó ọba ti dàbí gé ọmọ láàrin ìgbẹ́ kí lọ máa ṣe dá òfin ìró ọjọ́ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ alágbẹ̀lẹ̀ àyànmọ́ ọba tó fi ọ́ dára tó dùn ọmọ adéyẹmọ ò ìwọ náà kọ́ Olódùmarè ọba ní kí ọlá lùgẹ́ Sunday o máa gbọ́ ó ti gbogbo ọmọ adéyẹmọ ó dé wọn mọ́lẹ̀ pátápátá wọn ò lè mí mọ́ ó ti kó wọn láyà jẹ́ kó lè sóge wọ́n ṣẹ̀rù bà wọ́n ọjà wọn láyà wọn ò lè mí fín mọ́ ó ti fi òkúdú lọ́fọ́ ipá ooru ní ẹ̀yẹ́ dànù. ọmọ adéyẹmọ pọ̀ wọ́n bá tiẹ̀ ọmọ ọgọ́lù ogun ọmọ àlè ìwọ náà bí bàbá dodo dí àkókò bí ọba ṣe sí ẹja fọ kí ni ń bẹ nínú ọ̀gán ọmọ adéyẹmọ ti dún mọ̀wúrú bí ọ̀pani kọ́ pani bí ọba ní pani kó yé dún mọ̀wúrú Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ ó ti di bí àná yìí yé ẹjẹ ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n wéwé kókò tọ́ba lè bí ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tọ́ba fẹ́ fọ̀yà kọ́ máa fọ̀yà gbèrègbèrè sàǹgbà ọ̀rọ̀ máa fọ́ kú ẹni ẹ bá wọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ọmọ adéyẹmọ ti di bí àná yìí káàkiri ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá yé orí ìlú àbẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ọmọ ọkọ ní ọ̀hún ṣéwù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ ọkọ ṣe ìwọ lọ́pàá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ ọ̀pá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn ọ̀pá fúlàní náà ọ̀pá ya onítọ̀ ọmọ Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá rẹ lọ òròlù ọmọ fẹ̀lá mọ̀lẹ́nilé mo sùn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ ajá yẹn kìí kí ni àwọn bàbá rẹ mo dé mọ́dà àárín òde wọ́n di méjì bá rẹ̀ ta àlọ́ méjì bá rẹ̀ jì àgàdà yín ó di méjì bá rẹ̀ gbẹ̀dẹ̀ lógún ó kan ìlà àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ilé ìwọ ṣàgàdà nínú bí àwọn rẹ̀ ọmọ gbọ́dọ̀ olóko ilé ń sowó akọ̀yìn sí olóko ilé sí ìgbàlẹ̀kẹ̀ ọmọ adéyẹmọ yé Sunday Ìgbòho sàmà ogun ní nánilógún ogun ló ní ilé àárọ̀ ogun ni wọ́n fi jagun yé dẹ́gbọ́n jẹ́ bó ogun ẹ̀jẹ̀ anẹ́ta wọn lóògùn ọ̀nà Sunday ọmọ adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣà lónìí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbòmìnira dandan ni máa wá gbọ́ o àṣẹ ìlànà Olódùmarè ni ọmọ ìlú ọmọ adéyẹmọ o dákun mọ́rù làwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹbí ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn alágbára jagun tí wọ́n ní jagun ṣáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n mọ fi ọtí ọ̀gẹ́gẹ́ ni Oòduà Ọlọ́fin Ọbàtálá Báṣọ̀run Àjàká Ajẹ́ngẹ́tíẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́fọ̀fẹ́rí dánáfọ́fúnjá òun náà mẹ́rù ọmọdé kò ní ìfọ́ta abolílá ọmọdé kòkó alùpùpù àbá àkùkù ògèdèǹgbé ẹgbẹ́gungun rò lè jẹ́ sàgbé. máa gbọ́dọ̀ sẹ́yìn ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ń bọ́ ìṣàkóso tí wọ́n kùnà yà wáyé náà ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ìgbòho sáńpolo tí gbẹ̀tù tiẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀gbárùgbàdàrúgbó lọ́nù bọ́lọ̀ rẹ̀ jó kùnà yà ọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀yàrí kẹ́ni máa ń dẹ̀ bàbá rẹ̀ lọ òrùkàtàrí bàbá kẹ́ni máa ń dẹ̀ bàbá rẹ̀ lọ alárùgbọ́ parúgbọ́ Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ní oṣù olùkọ́ ní gbangba Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ ó ti di gbogbo ọdún ó ti wà lókè ẹni bá ní ọjà kọ́kọ́ máa gbọ́ o sórí má bẹ̀rù ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́ òòrí ní gbogbo fùrùfùrù labalábá tí wọ́n dìbò lẹ́kùn Sunday ọmọdé yẹn mọ́ Ìgbòho sà òòrí bí wọ́n ti ń wọṣọ àkísà máa gbọ́ o yẹ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà tó bá lóye akọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ní ẹja àfọwọ́tì àti yìí débi tó lágbẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹja àfọ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ èmi tún ẹ̀wọ̀ òjì mi kò lè gbé wa dédé kankan pa akọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ẹja àpọ̀lọpọ̀ ká bí ẹni tó ń gbọ́ pàfẹ́sẹ̀ lárugẹ ni ẹ máa gbọ́ wọn ní ẹbọ yẹn ṣe wọ́n máa fara wọn ní igi igbó sórí ipò wọn dìgbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni àwọn àgbàlagbà wọn ní bí orí bá dúró tọrùn inú déyìn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ gan ni Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ yé máa bá òótọ́ òní ọjọ́ burúkú tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí wọ́n ṣe rúgbó ẹ̀ mo ò lè mú jẹ́ má ṣe pé ṣùgbọ́n nù rẹ̀ lẹ̀ tó ọba tó sọ ọjọ́ padà bọ̀ ìmọ̀lẹ̀ thank you àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo tó ọba ti àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tó mú kọ́jọ́ ò ná wáyé má ṣe pé o ṣùgbọ́n má jẹnu rẹ̀ ó gbófò gbogbo tó ọba pátápátá àrò ní ọmọ àrò mọ́ wọ́n máa fèyí ṣe lọ́lé wọ́n máa fèyí ṣe lọ́lé wa kì í ṣe é mọ̀ wọ́n lè bí ilé rẹ̀ wípé ìtàlọ́pọ̀ ni ìwòsàn lápẹ̀rẹ̀ lágbájá ni tàmẹ̀dún ni ìmọ̀lẹ́ akéwìrì ọmọ wọn ló kò mọ̀ sọ àjílété mo bólúwa mi dúpẹ́ mọ́ bẹ̀rù àgbà.
11:29. I say good evening and welcome. Settle down, get a water, get a drink. It's going to be interesting. Another night, another broadcast. Koiki Media. A very good evening and welcome to the live transmission. Koiki Media bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
The speaking tribe of Nigeria has been accepted as the 45th member of the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. Leader of the Yoruba World Congress, Professor Banji says the membership represents a very important step in the collective quest of well-meaning Yoruba people to achieve the goal of dignity and self-determination.
It is my great pleasure and pride to inform you that the Yoruba nation has been admitted to the membership of UNPO. UNPO means Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, with its headquarters in The Hague. The UNPO expressed their gladness to welcome the Yoruba nation as a new member of UNPO, and they're looking forward to working with us. It is important because it is a great stride and it represents a very important step in our collective quest to achieve the goal of dignity in the country in which we live, and also to achieve the goal of self-determination for our nation. Our Yoruba nation now has a voice on the international stage via the machinery of the UNPO, which maintains a permanent presence before the United Nations and before other international agencies like the European Union, the African Union, the United States government, and the governments of various other countries across the world.
Wow. And that was Professor Banji addressing the UNPO just about 3 years ago. If many of you are not aware of the UNPO, it is very, very important that you let us explain it again. On behalf of the Koiki Media team, we would like to appreciate you. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ẹ tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa. Láti Díròkò, you're asking for the mix link. Tẹ́ bá lọ sórí Facebook page wa, ẹ rí níbẹ̀. You click on it, I'll post it sórí Facebook comment because it's been restricted. But if you want it, you will find it. By now, everybody knows where you can find myself when I go live. We're streaming on multiple channels again as usual. I know our network has not been as strong in terms of trying to migrate everything together, but we are working on that, and we hope in the new year that will be successful. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé a tún káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò títa lẹ́yìn níbi tí a tún máa dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ẹ wo àkọlé ètò tá a fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, à ń padà bọ̀ lẹ́ǹkan sí.
Ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilé tó kó ẹ̀mí àpọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan mọ́ Adéyẹmọ. Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho, orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí ara, orúkọ tó ń dẹ́rù bó lórúkọ gan-an. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o, torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú kégbodò láyé. Títa ríro lẹ̀dá ń kọlà, wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n irin ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà, ẹ̀dá kan ò lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ fi mọ̀ṣọ́ kan ká lè bí re. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho, Ìgbòho ṣá. Ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde. Ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi, ọmọ gègèlè wodò sànyà. Ìsànyà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí, omi kò sì náà kán sí yín lẹ́nu. Ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho, ìkan ń ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀, ìkan ní mọ́ rọra mọ́ rọra. Ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n ò mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́, kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí? Ọmọ òpópó sanran, ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀, ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ̀sìn ò ní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́, bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho. Á fi kan pọ̀pọ̀ sí, á mú kan yòókù bọ̀ sànyà, á tún mú ya rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ bọ́, á fi ṣẹ̀rù wálé. Wàrà mùjẹ́, ọmọ onílé ọ̀la, àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège, tọ́láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu, wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀. Ìgbà tójú kò fi rí ń kọ́, gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu, wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀. Ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé, ọ̀kan ṣẹ́, ọ̀kan tẹ̀, ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé fi ránṣọ kiri. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé, torí àbá lásán nìkan ń dá, òkúta ò ṣe pé fún wọn o. Ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀, kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí. Ó kún díẹ̀ kí tọ́ domi láéláé, ìtọ́ mi lè domi. Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti bí, tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilẹ̀ tó kọ́.
Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí, ó dà pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook. I'm going to turn off the software, or probably remove the, let me see, maybe if I remove the Twitter, maybe it will stable the broadcast, because I can see that we're not getting enough feed coming in there. So let's hope that now that I've removed that, the quality will pick up along the line. Bear with us, like I said, Emma Binusiwa on this platform. We're working tirelessly to make sure that our output, especially the video output, is very, very important. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop the broadcast, and then we would then go live from the laptop itself rather than from the the software. Moki Bobo, while that is coming up, and I say good evening and welcome once again to our transmission. Kosi platform 30 lewowa, as long as you know that you can catch up with us. Tebati Mogubo platforms were, if one is down, be rest assured that you can watch it from another platform. But we try as much as possible to make sure that we have all the platforms running. We're live on the TikTok, we're live on the Eshegon Grammar. Yawa Woni, it was good to see you. Baoni granddaughter, I hope she's doing very well. Moki Gbogbo Omo Yoruba, mo hope the weekend has been a very good one. Mine has been very great, and I hope yours has been great as well. As we are getting ready to go into the program, we are back again on the platform. See, or shut down Lenko because, like I said, it's just. So we are back on that. Moki Gbogbo pé ẹ̀túkalẹ̀ kí là ń béèrè fún àti pé are we standing shoulder to shoulder with Olóyè Igboho and Baba Akintoye? Yes, we are. We remain adamant when we remain resolute on the quest for the Yoruba nation agitation. My ẹ̀kẹ́ni kankan ní Nigeria kọ fún wa ní impression pé nǹkan ń ṣe níbẹ̀ yẹn crime ni, ẹ má dá wọn lóhùn, ẹ má bá wọn dá sí. It is not a crime and it has never been a crime. Ó wà nínú United Nations Charter 14 resolution dẹ̀ ni. And then tó bá jẹ́ resolution, tó mean ni pé òǹtẹ̀ wà lára ẹ̀. But understand pé they might not give you this kind of breakdown in Nigeria because there is this fear pé tẹ́ bá bá wọn dá sí DSS máa wá yín, sójà máa wá yín, ọlọ́pàá máa wá yín. It's all lies. It's just láti jẹ́ kí ẹ̀rù máa bà yín ní gbogbo tó ń ṣe. But as long as tí gbogbo wa bá ti dúró lórí ọwọ́ pé àwa ò ní wà pẹ̀lú Nigeria. Nigeria is not a country that works for us. It is our right, and that right will remain that right. Mo kí gbogbo àtẹni tó fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó pín, àtẹni tó fẹ́ kó pín, because mo wà lórí space kan just like bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ṣe ń káàkiri, èmi náà máa ń káàkiri, máa ń gbọ́ especially àwọn different platforms just to gauge what they are talking about and what people are saying. Ẹ̀rín á máa wá pa mí tí bá rí àwọn tó ń sọ òyìnbó, bí èmi náà ṣe máa ń sọ òyìnbó. And I'm a Nigerian. I love Nigeria. But the problem is things are not working. You then start asking, okay, you are a Nigerian, but things are not working. Kí ló dé tí kò ṣe work? Ìdí tí kò ṣe work ni pé it is the fact that àwọn Britain, ìlú tèmi ń gbé, àwọn náà ṣe dáadáa. Mo kí bàbá mi Abiodun Monday, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti bá wa dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó lóye. Bí àkàtẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú yẹn ká tó máa wọnú ètò lọ, torí we would like to appreciate people, and ètò yìí, ètò tó máa appreciate àwọn èèyàn ni. Kódà èèyàn kan send 3,000 naira, wọ́n tún wá ní Mr. Koiki ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú pé ó kéré. Mo wá ní kò sówó kan tó kéré, kò sí owó kan tó kéré, nítorí pé ẹni tó fẹ́ fúnyàn àtẹni tó fẹ́ fúnyàn is two different things. Kódà kò sí bí a bá ṣe gbé nǹkan jáde, àárá àwọn tó máa, that is how life is. You get the critiques. Ẹ bá mi send account Igboho gangan. Tó bá yẹ pé BBC ló fi account sílẹ̀, ìwà máa béèrè account the right person. It just shows that tí mọ ẹni tó jókòó. Ìyẹn lẹ ṣe tún ní Koiki mo fi sansa account tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀, tí Igboho yẹn gangan ni kò fún mi. Ẹ sì lọ sí Germany, ẹ lọ bá Igboho fún rẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń béèrè question bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ sì máa dé Germany láti lọ gba account Igboho gangan. 25 years ni mo ti gbé nílùú yìí. Yoruba nation, èyí tó ti wà nínú blood wa ni. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn. Àwọn tí mò ń dá lóhùn, wọ́n mọra wọn báyìí. Ẹ wo ojú tèmi dáadáa. Ẹ wo ojú mi dáadáa. ẹ wojú mi dáadáa ṣé ẹ rójú yìí ṣé ẹ rójú yẹn dáadáa ẹ rí i pé mo bọ́ glasses kẹ́ lè bá rójú yẹn dáadáa. Mr. Koiki a máa pay owó but ẹ fún alákáǹtì Ìgbòho gangan mo ní ẹ máa wọkọ̀ ẹ lọ bá Ìgbòho ní Germany. Those of you asking those questions, that's what I will say. It could be disrespectful to you, I don't care. Ara Nàìjíríà dálẹ̀ òun náà la ṣe ń sọ yẹn because ẹ kò classify gbogbo wa ẹ rò pé gbogbo wa ní the same àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ rò pé gbogbo wa pátápátá ní the same àbí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin tí ẹ sọ pé Mr. Koiki nígbà tó ti fohùn sílẹ̀ yẹn ìwọ̀nba tá a bá ní ascended and we have done so far very good. Lálẹ́ àná ká tó lọ sùn we gave an estimate of 200,000. We are very close to almost 900,000. Very close. That's all I will say. Very close. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọba Elédùmarè pé irú ìrìn àjò báyìí pẹ̀lú olóyè àtèmi àwọn olóyè òun fún ara rẹ̀ olówó ni ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation èmi gan fún ara mi ọmọ olówó lèmi náà. ẹ̀yin tó ń béèrè account ẹ bá máa ju account síta backend team ẹ ju account síta fáwọn tó ń béèrè account kò ní sáwọn tó ń béèrè account Ìgbòho gangan làwọn fi sanwó sí. mo ní ẹ máa wọkọ̀ ẹ lọ bá Ìgbòho ní Germany tẹ bá ní access sí ẹ lè pè é gbogbo ilẹ̀ kúkú máa ń pè lẹ́yìn. mo ní platform mi ń raise owó fún olóyè ẹ ní ẹ fẹ́ send ẹ sí account ẹ direct jòrò àwọn tó ti ṣe 419 fún yín so ẹ wá classify gbogbo wa as 419 àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. So automatically feel pé every one of us tá bá ti jáde wọ́n forúkọ lóyè ó fi gbowó. Mo ní platform mi ló fi gbowó fún lóyè ẹ gbọ́ ni Koiki Media ni mo dárúkọ and it is voluntary anyway and we are not begging anybody. àtìrẹ́ni tó fún wa ní 250 mọ́mísì tèmi gangan fúnra rẹ̀ 200,000 ló kó sílẹ̀ ìyá tó bí èmi lọ́mọ gangan 200,000 naira lòun gan kó sílẹ̀. Easy kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ àwọn yẹn ti sanwó kàtẹ tó máa béèrè pé àwọn Koiki òkú ti pọ́nlẹ̀ fún Ìgbòho kí là ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ó fún alákáǹtì láti ju kankan ṣàlàyé kò sí ta fẹ́ fún èrè la fẹ́ fún lóyè a kò fi ń dúpẹ́ fún náà ni òun gan lóyè gan fúnra rẹ̀ gan tẹ̀wọ̀n pé mò ń bá rézò owó àárọ̀ yìí tí mo kọ̀ pé bá mi báyìí ó tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ èmi wàláì olóyè tún dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ èmi mo ní èmi ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀ká máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin àti Nnamdi Kanu ló ẹ̀ka máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ gbogbo senate Nàìjíríà nísìn ó ń gbóná ni gbàtẹ́ ní follow news ọ̀rọ̀ Simon Ekpa ló ń sọ bọ́ nítorí pàwa Yorùbá àwa ní àwọn ọmọlúàbí ẹ̀tọ́ ó wà lára wa mo ní tá bá fi dídá èmi nìkan nírìn àjò yìí ibi tá máa wà kọ́ la máa dé bá dúpẹ́ pé ìrìn àjò yìí ó wà lábẹ́ àwọn tó capable tó dúró dáadáa tán tó ń pè ní Professor Banji Akíntóyè àti Ìgbòho àti bàbá wa Banji Ayélóge. ẹ má fi ìdọ̀tí ẹ má fi yí gbogbo alára o ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì nìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ ni mo rán lọ sí Benin Republic nígbà tó lóyè wà níbi tó wà nígbà tó instruct mi pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ wá bá òun pé because ibi tí mo wà yẹn lòun fẹ́ kí mi dúró sí kí mi máa dún èmi wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé à ń raise owó ẹ̀yin ṣètò wá ń bi mí pé ẹ fi send ẹ̀ direct sí Ìgbòho ẹ careful ara yín gan ẹ á fi ìdọ̀tí yí gbogbo alára o gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ ẹ lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó mọ bàbá tó bí àwa lọ mọ̀ àwọn ń ṣolóṣe o ògbẹ́ni mo fi sọ 25 years mo ti gbé nílùú yìí kò tẹ̀ ń ṣe nísìnyí àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ tó yẹ pé wà very 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 sensitive iṣẹ́ tó wà sensitive ni mo gbé dání èmi náà dẹ̀ mọ̀ tí mo gbé dání so tàbá fi wá jẹ àwa jẹ take time ara yín gan ẹ yẹ ká fúnra wa ní respect màmá tó bí mi kó travel lọ Benin ẹ̀yin mọ̀ yẹn ta ná tí mo fi gbé lọ sí Benin pé lọ jókòó pé iṣẹ́ tí mo fi bẹ́yìn mọ́ mi because àwọn kankan wà tí mo fi sọ lórí phone nígbà yẹn and my mom travelled twice to Benin Republic and we didn't announce it ṣé mo wá jáde pé kẹ́ fún wa lówó pé mo fi rán ọmọ sí mi lọ sí Benin Republic House of Lords building tẹ máa ń rí ti máa ń lọ sí iwájú ẹ̀yìn ibẹ̀ ni mo sí mi ti retire kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbẹ̀ o kò ń ṣe gbogbo ó náà pẹ́ ẹ̀ tí mo ẹni tó gbéṣẹ́ ìdání àwọn kan sì máa já bọ́lẹ̀ lọ́nà tá à ń lọ yìí ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ máa wòran because àti gba country gbogbo ìtàwọn tí ó kùn sọ pé àti gba country á sì wà lẹ́nu ẹni àwọn kan sì máa bọ́lẹ̀ nítorí pé wọ́n máa wà fed up mọ́rẹ́ mi ni last man standing lórí ìrìn àjò yìí because ẹ need the media tó lè control narratives that's what people don't understand you need that strong media tó lè change narrative pẹ̀lú àwọn tá à ń bá tayò nísàlẹ̀ àti international community and they know that so tàbá jáde tàbá ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ fún wa ní respect wa baálé lélèmí náà mo á jáde ìránṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ní ẹ fún wa lákàntì Ìgbòho gangan ká sẹ́ndẹ̀ síbẹ̀ ẹ lọ Benin Republic lọ gba àkáǹtì yẹn kẹ́ sẹ́ndẹ̀ síbẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá wa respond àwọn tí wọ́n ṣeyèméjì kò dẹ̀ sí ìlú tí wọ́n ti respond even if kò ń ṣe gbogbo ìlú ló máa respond àwọn tó dẹ̀ ti ń ṣe before that a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín tá bá sì ń jáde lójoojúmọ́ lórí Ìgbòho pé ẹ bá fi kankan síbẹ̀ ó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ni so mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa like I said we are very good we are hitting a target fi estimate sí but mo ní ó bá dijọ́ Monday I close it by Monday we move everything to CSI himself lágbọ́rọ̀ Elédùmarè mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yẹmí Fátókè ni máa ń pè tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́ sí mi ló correct mi pé Fátókè ni I ni mo kí Bob infrastructure àrọ́wọ́ yín mo kí àwa Fọláṣadé Faládé tí bá dárúkọ anybody ní kí n dárúkọ bákan appreciate yín ni tẹ́ bá kúkú wà lórí ètò náà ẹ bá ní ká má dárúkọ yín tàbá kí yín náà ńkọ́ so a kí yín mo kí bàbá wa Bòbóyè Adébísí mo fi tẹlẹdùmarè mo fi kí yín mo kí Mr. Olúwafẹ́mi Emmanuel mo kí Miss Olúrẹ̀mí Ọ̀gábíkílàńkó mo kí ìyá dáadáa mo kí ìyàwó Victoria Òjó mo kí ìyàwó Stella Oyètúnjí mo kí bàbá wa Ògúndípẹ̀ Shakiru mo kí Bishop Adesina I don't know whether he's live with us tonight because I would love to speak to him mo kí bàbá wa Sulaimon Adigun mo kí Mr. Kola Ademolu mo kí thanks so much Easy Dollar mo fi Elédùmarè mo fi kí ẹ èèyàn ti kọ́ ìkì ID Noble ní gbogbo Italy kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ mo kí ẹ mo fi Elédùmarè mo fi kí Little Akis ó lè jẹ́ platform tẹ́ fi sẹ́ndẹ̀ orúkọ tí mo rí nìyẹn okay Mr. Abiodun Monday yes mo kí Dizzyman 123 mo kí Mr. Olúwafẹ́mi Ọlọ́ba Mr. Ogun Bádéjọ mo kí ẹni tó bá ti gbórúkọ ẹ̀ gbogbo yín náà la kí a ní láti máa fún ẹni fígọ̀ pé ní báyìí ní dọ́là ẹni báyìí lọ́dà àwọn tá a kí yẹn wọ́n ti get message ẹ wò mí dáadáa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o. Mo lè look in small stature, but in tí mo gbé dání mi gan mọ̀ pé tó wúwo gidi ni. But mo ní ọ̀rọ̀ tá fẹ́ sọ ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation ni. Mi ò ní wà distracted. Sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú gbogbo yẹn wọ́n jà mẹ́yẹn wọ́n ń ṣe kinní kan. Because mo communicate pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kẹ́ stick to the message. The message pé Nàìjíríà gbọ́dọ̀ pín. That's all. I'm not interested in àwọn wá justice fún Mohbad. Èmi gan wá justice fúnra mi ní Nàìjíríà. Èmi gan wá justice tí mo ti rí. Ẹ náà wá justice fún Mohbad. Mo wá justice fún family tèmi náà ní Nàìjíríà. Fún ìyà tí Nàìjíríà fi wá jẹ. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kẹ́ wọ ẹ má yẹ kí ọkàn fúlì pé má japa o. Tó bá lè japa ọmọ japa. Má yẹ kí ọkàn sọ fún ẹ pé abroad ó difficult ó le ọmọ máa bọ̀ kájọ máa rọ́ọ̀kẹ̀. Bó ṣe lé ẹ náà àjọ máa rọ́ọ̀kẹ̀. Das tó bá lè kọjá síta. Kódà mo wà lórí page máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí àwọn Biafra dáadáa lálẹ́. So tẹ́ bá níwà comfortable. I better get it exit. Mo dé màá ti Simon Ekpa lè pa bí ṣúgà ni. Torí pé until Nnamdi Kanu bá jáde tó padà síta tó wá pè mí sínú meeting pẹ̀lú olóyè kó wá reverse gbogbo tó bá wa sọ nínú ìpàdé tájọ ń ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ nígbà tá a ṣèpàdé pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ òun nìkan ni máa dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn Simon Ekpa. Tó bá sọ pé Simon Ekpa tóun fà lẹ́yìn lọ́wọ́ o kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. But ǹjẹ́ mọ̀ pé Simon Ekpa gangan ni kúnkúṣì tó ń dún tó ń wọnú Senate bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣé ti gbọ́ fídíò tó jáde nínú Senate bí alẹ́jọ́ Friday ló jáde àbí ìjọ Thursday mọ̀ ọjọ́ tó jáde. But Simon Ekpa ṣe post ẹ̀ ni. Màá fún yín ní gbogbo breakdown àwọn message ẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá sì fẹ́ dáwó fún ìtàn ṣe fún olóyè Igboho kò tí ì late. But tó bá ti di Monday ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ wá jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ pé owó tẹ̀ ń send yẹn owó Igboho ni. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí n tètè mọ̀ torí 48 hours ni. Mo rí wọ́n ṣe prayer kan lọ́wọ́ nísìn 72 hours. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ń gbowó lórí prayer yẹn. Tá bá ṣe prayer tán wá ní kẹ́ dáwó. Which is nothing wrong in that. Ìbí èmi náà wo what God cannot do does not exist. Ìgbógun ló ń gbà account síta. Ẹ̀yin ló question àwọn yẹn. Ṣé ẹ̀ ń question wọn pé ibo ló ń náwó yẹn sí? Àbí ibo ló ń fowó yẹn lọ? Ẹ ká wà careful. Ó dà pé ẹ mọ weight platform ṣé jẹ́ pé mò ń jókòó sí àjókòó sójú kan. 2015 ni mo ti ń rán ọmọ 25 níṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà tá à ń support wọn délẹ̀délẹ̀. Ó mọ̀ mí rí ní 2015 ni. Ẹ̀yin mọ plan tèmi ní láti máa ṣìrìn àjò tèmi lórí Koiki Media tí mo wá restrict ẹ̀ nísìn. For 3 years mo refuse àgbà advert. Torí mo fẹ́ kí a compromise níta gbé dání. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo alámọ̀ tá gbé dání o. Gbogbo àwa tá à ń pariwo Yorùbá nation gbogbo akọ́lámọ̀ tá gbé dání. Èmi mọ̀ tèmi gbé dání o. Gbogbo akọ́lámọ̀ tá gbé dání. UK dẹ̀ lèmi ń gbé. UK ni mò ń gbé pẹ̀lú wọn ní bíbá. Èmi ò gbé ní any other country. Tó bá yẹ pé ìta ni mò ń gbé ní ìlú ẹni bí Simon Ekpa màá mọ̀ tí máa tún máa ṣe. But for the fact that pé ìlú ẹni mò ń gbé mo control so many things because mo mọ̀ lú tí mo wà mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ tó lè ṣe. But àwọn náà dẹ̀ mọ̀ tí àwọn bá ṣe wọ́n mọ̀ repercussion ẹ̀ nínú ìlú ìtajọ́ ń gbé because I'm not a legal immigrant. 25 years tí mo ti fi ń gbé ní ìlú yìí mo mọ̀ system ìlú yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tí bá dijú mi mo mọ̀ system ìlú yìí tí n bá mọ̀ máa béèrè lọ mọ̀ sí mi tí mọ̀ sí mi ò bá mọ̀ á tún gbé lọ sí upper scale á tún lọ béèrè tí mo bá mọ̀ máa lọ bẹ́ MP mi 25 years mọ́ínmọ́ín ló pe ni ó rò pé mo ṣẹ̀dé lánàá ni mo ṣẹ̀dé lánàá so tẹ́yìn ò bá mọ̀ tẹ́ gbé dání ní platform yìí àmọ́ tá gbé dání right wa dẹ̀ ni wọ́n lè máa sọ gbogbo kò ń ṣe right wọn ní Nàìjíríà nìyẹn Nàìjíríà Bọ́lá Tinubu tó bá pè ní Bọ́lá Tinubu kò pọ̀ jù mò ń pe Boris Johnson lórúkọ kí ni ìyàtọ̀ wọn àti Boris Johnson politicians they are all the same thing the first 10 doctors tó kú ní ìlú yìí during the COVID were all black people Boris Johnson ló wà lórí oyè and we are holding him responsible for that. Ìyẹn la ṣe pé wá sí inquiry. President Tinubu tí bá tún fún ní ọ̀wọ̀ nìyẹn. Ó mọ̀ pé tajọ ń fà yìí. A máa tátọ́ délẹ̀ ni. Mo sọ lánàá mo tún sọ. Òun ó lè jẹ́ Jagaban but age ó máa tẹ̀ lára ẹ̀. Èmi àtọmọ ẹ̀ lájọ wà ní Sàwáwù. Èmi àti Tinubu àti ní Sàwáwù because as far as I'm concerned gbogbo agbára tó ń lò gbogbo ohun tó ń lò yẹn mo fún ní kọ́lọ̀ fún lẹ́mìí gúngùn 81 years old ní Tinubu máa jẹ́ by 2031 èmi ò tí lè pe 81 gbogbo alẹ́ lọ́ọ́ máa fún lẹ́mìí gúngùn èmi ò gbàdúrà kó fún un. Mo kí bàbá wa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa ẹ̀hún pẹ̀lẹ́ nǹkan kan àwọn èèyàn á kọ́ surprise èèyàn yẹn wọ́n gbà ṣé kí la á ní Mr. Koiki wọ́tẹ̀ náà ni tí mo bá ṣe ẹlòmíà ṣe tí mo ń ṣe fact nìyẹn bọ̀fọ̀ ìfẹ́ àpá ń ṣe determination pé ó ti wà nù blood wa ni ìntàwá ti ń dúró dè lélẹ̀ tipẹ́ àti ń sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà pé ó gbádùn láti how many years ìbí Buhari wá campaign ní London tó gbérò kalẹ̀ fún gbogbo wa Nàìjíríà máa dá o you know they are all the same. Mo fi tẹlẹ́dùmarè mo fi kí gbogbo ẹni tá wà lórí ìjókòó ẹ lọ bómi kẹ kò sí problem kankan mo kàn ń pass message fáwọn tó ẹbí ẹ kàn ń wò pé àlàyé tó jókòó yẹn 419 làwọn tó ń ṣe yẹn gaima ló ń pè wọ́n ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n pọ̀ nílùú ìdáadáa mo mọ̀ wọ́n mọ̀ mí tó bá mọ̀ tó ń pè ní gaima àwọn tó máa ń package ara wọn tó nǹkan tó ń sọ fún ipá àwọn tó wọ́n tó nǹkan tán náà àwọn tó nílùú yìí àmọ́ àwọn tó nǹkan nílùú yìí tó jọ ọmọ Nàìjíríà àdèmọ̀ àwọn tó nǹkan tó yẹ pé wọ́n ń dọ́gbọ́n sí lábẹ́lẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń dọ́gbọ́n nílùú yìí o á wọ anybody pé abroad kan ló wà wọ́n ń dọ́gbọ́n sí nílùú yìí so táwa bá sọ fún yín pé solution kan tó wà nílẹ̀ nísìn ni pé kí gbogbo wa ká jókòó sórí round table ká discuss ìrìn àjò bá ṣe fẹ́ rìn ìrìn àjò wa nínú Nàìjíríà tẹ́yìn bá wá nẹ́yìn ò discuss ẹ̀ wọ́n ti ń discuss Biafra burúkú bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ nísìn ní Senate so ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sọ́dọ̀ Simon Ekpa lálẹ́ so máa lọ sórí page ẹ̀ ok máa wò bí a ti bá lè rí fídíò yẹn play láti bí báyìí even though pé mo fẹ́ máa play fídíò kankan ẹ rò pé ló ń ṣe tán set up office káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé no ẹ rò pé láwọn Biafra ń ṣe ẹ rò pé ló ń ṣe ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn ọ́fíìsì tán rẹ́ǹtì yẹn owó ló fi ń rẹ́ǹtì ẹ̀ ìyẹn kan ní Yorùbá nation yẹn owó ló ń gbà lórí ẹ̀ eré kan ló ń ṣe ṣe owó kékeré rẹ̀ pé àwọn fi ń rẹ́ǹtì ọ́fíìsì ni ṣe rò pé gbogbo olùtọ́ ti ń rẹ́ǹtì ọ́fíìsì yẹn ọ̀fẹ́ ló ń gbé fún wọn ni ìtagbédání yóò ṣe eré sẹ́ máa ń sọ fún yín is a very serious situation mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí ọbẹ̀ Elédùmarè á wà pẹ̀lú wa kò dẹ̀ ní fi wá sílẹ̀ so níbo ni ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ mo fẹ́ lọ mú báyìí báwo la ṣe máa play ilé tí gbogbo wa máa gbọ́ kò tí bá play ní ibi báyìí àwọn tó wà lórí Facebook yíwá yóò ní gbọ́ so àmọ́ bá ṣe máa manage ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook audio tá fi play jáde mo ń bọ̀ anyway mo mọ̀ pé láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà upgrade oríṣiríṣi máa dé wá bá wa kò bá jẹ́ second hand lẹ bá ní àníkẹ́ fi ránṣẹ́ sí wa ká lè máa lò mọ́ device tá fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ so because especially if we are not using the OBS so difficult everything kó wà migrated lójú kan tó bá yẹ pé OBS ni mò ń lò ní OBS ni la fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ program lẹ́ǹkan but laptop yìí mo mọ̀ tó ṣe you know even though it's meant to be a good laptop but for whatever reason kò perform iṣẹ́ tí mo fẹ́ kó perform so ìyẹn ló ṣe máa ń sọ pé mọ́tò yàtọ̀ sí mọ́tò tó bá ra BM tó lọ fi ń wé Ford ó dìgbà tó bá dórí mọ́tò wé ló máa mọ̀ pé BM yẹn máa sáré dáadáa but it is what it is because laptop ilé is meant to be working just to platform mo gbé sí lórí ló ń ṣe balabala lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo láti disconnected so ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí one of the platform ní Facebook ní gbọ́n kan tí mo fẹ́ play nísìn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Mr. Ọlámilékan Sóbò mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa máa kí gbogbo yín dáadáa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tokyo 778 mo kí mo mọ̀ bí a mo ti because ẹ bèrè account lánàá but mo ti dárúkọ ká tó tún lọ àtó dárúkọ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti ṣọwọ́ sí wa and we are still taking that donation 48 hours for olóyè Igboho Òòṣà ó tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ojú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ tá a bá fún àfi ń yọ̀ sí lọ́rùn ni èlò la fi fún ẹ̀yin tó fi ń ra ticket mo ní mo fi máa go through security ọ̀rọ̀ Ìgbòho kò ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ social media mo close mọ́ bí iṣan ọrùn ni ntì bá dẹ̀ sọ níbí báyìí lọ́mọ máa mú lọ pé mo wà nílé ẹ̀ mo mọ iye ìgbà tó lọ sí Germany nínú oṣù mẹ́fà yẹn owó kékeré lẹ́rẹ̀ pé ó fi ń ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì business class dẹ̀ lálàyé ń jókòó sí bàbá àgbàlagbà kọ́lọ̀ máa dúró tì kó wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ìyàwó dẹ̀ là ń kí láì fẹ́ nìkankan sílẹ̀ èmi dẹ̀ ṣe lágbẹ́nusọ ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kódà bó sọ pé Kóìkí òun ṣàgbẹ́nusọ òun mọ́ ó ní loyalty mi tá a máa fi débi tá à ń lọ ìgbà la fẹ́ débẹ̀ yẹn máa wòran ti yín Ọlọ́run ló ní ìrìn àjò wọ́n ní 100 people are watching 33 péré ló like ẹ̀ bí àwọn tó kù ọ gbàgbé ẹ bá lọ bá a like ẹ̀ it helps the algorithm mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tokyo 778 mo kí gbogbo yẹn àgbàlagbà àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́ àwọn ọlọ́pọlọ là ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ níbí báyìí ẹ má kíyàn kan fúlì yín pé wọ́n ti declare country kan gbogbo yẹn àwáwí ni mo ti rí wèrè ẹ̀ tó tuntun jáde ìyàwó mi kan béèrè pé ṣé inú darkness ló wà ní mo ní kò lè wọ́ bíbà bẹ́ẹ̀ dà kó jáde nígbà tí mo ti nà nígbàlẹ̀ kò gbọ́dọ̀ gbójú yẹn jáde mọ́ ọ̀bí ẹ̀dà àwọn tí mo ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ tí mo communicate ó ti yé yín ìyàwó mi kan èmi journalist lèmi mi gbọ́dọ̀ máa lọ káàkiri máa snoop around ní tó ń pè journalist nìyẹn mo ti snoop dọ́dọ̀ àwọn kí ló ń sọ the same thing ìyàwó mi wá ń bi mí pé kò gbójú jáde mo ní wọ́n bí ìyá ẹ̀dà kó gbójú jáde ojú ò ló fi gbé jáde kò lè gbójú kankan jáde mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin girama ẹ kú jókòó ẹ kú àìsùn ẹ má bínú kó pẹ́ ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ já gbọ́ ilé ìmú padà bọ̀ ẹ má gbọ́ lọ́mọ ń bọ̀.
To a national crisis. Students should condemn the sit-at-home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is a gang leader. 2. Urge the federal government of Nigeria to collaborate with the Finnish government and extradite Simon Ekpa for prosecution. 3. Urge the federal government to use political solution and approach in handling the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Mr. President, it is common knowledge that our brothers from the southeast largely hold the commerce of this great country. If commerce, therefore, is shut down in this part of the country, I'm afraid it's indeed a national problem that I think should be treated as a national.
Gbénga Daniel ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn ẹ má bínú pé ẹ lè rí méjì yẹn ṣe rí Biafra àti federal government tí wọ́n bá jọ jókòó kọjọ yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí tá ò bá tẹ̀ bá wà fi yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ tájọ́ ń fà nítorí pé àwa Yorùbá àti fẹ́ràn èmi ló kàn èmi náà like Tinubu kò kàn fún mi lówó ni mo dẹ̀ nílò owó ẹ̀ ṣe rí Simon Ekpa lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wọn ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ni kò sí nǹkan tá a gbọ́ tán gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ló ń lò ó gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ló ń ṣe kinní kan but ọ̀rọ̀ ti Biafra nísìn ó ti kọjá ọ̀rọ̀ ìta inú Senate ló ti ń deliberate ló ti ń discuss ẹ̀ ìtàn sọ nísìn ni pé kọ́ extract ẹ̀ kọ́ gbé padà wá sí Nàìjíríà ṣe ráwọn òmùgọ̀ Gbénga Daniel ẹ̀rán ti Gbénga Daniel mo ṣe program lé lórí wọ́n pa wá ní farm ó ní káwa padà sí farm ṣe rí mo kí gbogbo yín tẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa Grandma Comfort Adélẹ́yẹ mo kí gbogbo yín tètè wọlé I am not here to fight ọmọ Yorùbá to believe in one Nigeria. I mean, look, at some point this is what we are meant to believe in, but níbi tí ayédélé ni tó bá tẹ̀ ní okay let's believe in one Nigeria a dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wọn àwọn o mọ̀ pé tó bá tó aṣọ nísìn tí bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí tó aṣọ yìí ṣe mọ̀ pé tó wí kan bó ṣe rọra yọ yìí nísìn tó bá tú nísìn ká tó mọ̀ gbogbo bẹ́ẹ̀ náà máa tú báṣọ yìí ṣe fáìn tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí tó wọ ara ẹ̀ lẹ́yẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan ọmọ bàdí táwọn tó bá nà padà bá wẹ̀ Kóìkí aṣọ tó wọ̀ tó dẹ̀ fáìn lára ẹ̀ báyìí báwo ló ṣe wá rí jágbàjàgbà báyìí òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà o mo understand the many Nigerians pé àti jọ wà together àti pé kò ní dá ká wá yà ká mo understand gbogbo àárín yẹn. Looking the flashing light behind you can trigger kílẹ̀ kọ síbẹ̀. You can trigger epilepsy, someone skeptical to it. Okay, ọ̀dà ṣé náà tẹ̀yìn yẹn lẹ́ ń sọ àbí? Okay. I disconnect. I man take our device níbí by now worry. Gbogbo ọdún lèmi máa ń ṣe inú ilé mi. Mo ń ṣọdún aláwo gan. Mo ń ṣọdún kérésìmesì. Mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe ti Ànábì Muhammad. Ìyẹn ibi tèmi dé nísìn. Kódà mo ń ṣọdún Hindu gan. Bí Hindu bá ń celebrate, China bá ń celebrate Chinese ọdún, mo bá wọn ṣe. Don't be deceived anymore. Ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ dé lálẹ́ wàláì tàláì símọ́ bí láì làásìlá wà kò ń ṣe tẹnu. Ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà tó wà. Ṣé máa ń rò pé àwa náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà ni? Gbogbo wa náà la nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà, but in tí kò yé wa tẹ́lẹ̀ la ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ ni. Àti paná iná kérésìmesì ni. Gbogbo ọdún lèmi máa ń ṣe inú ilé mi. Christmas tree mi wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń ṣáná pápápá. Kò ní bàjẹ́ fẹ́ gbọ́n mi kan. Wọ́n ní kí n máa sọ̀rọ̀ ní Koiki mo bẹ́ ń ṣẹ́ gbẹ́nu ẹ dákẹ́. Thank you so much. Wọ́n tẹ̀lé máa wọ program wọn sẹ̀fẹ̀ anyway, so but kákọ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn náà ni. Kò sí kó ń ṣe púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ program, especially after tí ìrìn àjò yẹn ẹ fẹ́ da ìrìn àjò yẹn rú. Ẹ̀yin máa dàrú fọ́dé láàrin méjì. Wọ́n á sọ fún yín pé èmi ni last man standing. Bí ẹ bá ti ń lọ, màá máa dá yín padà. Màá máa mú ẹ̀mí yín padà kúrò pé Nigeria kọ́ ni the best solution fún wa nísìn. 1984 ẹran mi létí ni mo sì mi lọ South Korea. Kó lè wo 23 countries ní màmá tó bí mi lọ́mọ. 23 countries ló ti travel. Èmi gan fúnra ara mi mo ti lọ 23 countries. O mọ why? Torí Nigeria burúkú yẹn ó ti báyé wa jẹ́. Màá wá ṣàlàyé fún ẹ. Kò wá máa wọ́n dàgbà Koiki kí ló ń ṣe nígbà tí yẹ ti lọ 23 countries. Ó yẹ kí wọ́n náà ti rìnrìn àjò yẹn. 15 years ni wọ́n fi lock mi sínú ìlú tí mo lè jáde. Torí mo níwèé ni. Ẹni tó níwèé mo lọ fi travel lọ. Ó dà pé ẹ ti gbọ́ mi. In tí Biafra ń fà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, they are in another stage. So ìbéèrè tí mò ń bi wá lálẹ́ yìí nísìn ni pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ wọ glasses mi kọ́ mo fi strain ojú mi mo dẹ̀ rí 65-inch screen mi. Àwọn kankan block ẹ̀ níwájú. Ó yẹ kí n máa rí comment ìyẹn mi ṣe máa ń jókòó tí bá di jókòó bẹ́ẹ̀ mo fẹ́ máa ka comment. So wọ́n dẹ̀ ti fi oríṣiríṣi ẹ̀wọ̀n mo lé ọlọ́mọ kéékèèké ni kọ́nà ilé àtúbọ̀ bí sí kó rẹ̀ sí kó pọ̀ sí ẹ̀. So mo dẹ̀ máa rí comment yẹn níwájú screen mi 65-inch ni ẹ lè náwó Yorùbá nation bá wọn fi rà ibi tí wọ́n bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ. Tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe níbi kan wọ́n má jẹ́ ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ rárá o má kọ̀ jàjẹ́ pa ni. Mr. Olamilekan Zobo ni Koiki, you are a celestial pastor, you deliver Dúpẹ́ Onídìrí. Ti jẹ́ ìdárúkọ a brain kan normal ẹja fìyà yẹn sílẹ̀. Mo wà lórí program yẹn títí fún bíi 20 minutes. Awareness ló ń ṣe as far as I'm concerned. Ẹja padà sórí ètò. Ṣẹ́rí mo kí Alhaja Sherifat Agbabiaka, mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn kankan. Ẹ fi portable sílẹ̀ èèyàn wa ni. Ẹ wá fi lọ kọrin ní church ẹ jẹ́ kó kọrin. Ẹ máa kí n divert ẹ̀mí wa kúrò níta wa. The word Nigeria, Nigeria, ibẹ̀ lọ ní wọ́n bí wa sí, but initially territory yẹn has multiple different ethnic indigenous people. How many of us agree with that? We normally agree on that. I'm going to speak a bit of English because we carry our Biafra along because these programs become a red line and they'll be wondering why, more Biafra, more so in Botopo. So I'm going to be speaking a bit of English, broken English. I don't understand Hausa. The word Nigeria was only something that we knew about. Moke Egbomi Yemi Benson, and those of you on the TikTok, until 1913, there was nothing called Nigeria. I want us to just keep our mind on that. What we should then be asking is, what led to the word Nigeria? How did we come about the word Nigeria? Nigeria. Because this is where we are having problems between ourselves. You know, we thought we were all together until I realized that Ori won't be. And to build America, don't support Nigeria, Yoruba to declare country and all that nonsense. Definitely, we are not on the same page anymore, because that means be IQ me, Oji to one on so one check boko komo. But here, advantage you do, the bad advice, so we take your advice. The word Nigeria that we are all now trying to protect and save, for those that believe in one Nigeria, that are against the Biafrans, the Yorubas, because these are the only two major ethnic groups, the indigenous people, that are making a push for the dissolution of Nigeria. But also, the Yoruba and the Biafrans or the Igbos are the same set of people, Remi Official Muki Aburomi, are the same set of people that are holding Nigeria today. Do we agree with that? Do we agree with that? That the two major ethnic group that is holding Nigeria is Igbo and Yorubas. Even though we tend to say Yoruba, but it's the two. Now, a group of them, not all of them, we will be fooling ourselves, Tabani Bugwala, believing the dissolution of Nigeria. Then a group of people came up and say, Mokiati Jebaba, this country, something is not right. What we should then be asking is, what is not right? Can't fight it for. What is not right is that the true picture of our identity, I'm looking at different cameras, so if I move my eyes like this and that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cameras in front of me, so I can move my eyes anywhere. The true picture of what we are all trying to save does not represent me. And that is why I have not even enjoyed the country just like my mom and my dad enjoy Nigeria. If my mom, as at the time that the country was still even working, up to the 80s, as at 90, things started, becoming, things fall apart. How many of you have watched that movie, Things Fall Apart? The Nigeria that you now, on today social media, wants to save, died in the 80s, as far as some of our people, our elders can tell us, that country died in the 80s. Some even say it died as the Biafra war with the British government. The Biafra war was not with the federal government. They fought with the British, but the British government used the proxies, which is the federal government. Now, today, the Biafrans are now crying out again and saying, look, something is not right. We don't want to be part of these entity. I love to always show my map when I get to that stage. We don't want to be part of that entity anymore called Nigeria. Can we officially exit? The question we should then ask ourselves is, if Biafra is saying that they want to exit officially, why are we making it difficult for them? Remember that we can't even live with them because we hate them so much, we cannot tolerate them. My question then is, why don't we allow them to exit? Come ako kwangbara wọn lọ, come ako yemere wọn lọ, come ako gbogbo wahala wọn lọ, and then we would then deal with them via immigration. mo wo fídíò kan ìyàwó mi bó ṣe wọnú yàrá ó ní baálé mi immigration kí ló ń sọ níbẹ̀ by this month to become a British citizen is going to cost you £1,525 from 1,330 or thereabout. You would also have to go through a lot of much more of 10 years as against 5 years. O gbọ́dọ̀ ti gbé nílùú for 10 years before you can apply for a British passport. And not everybody have got that passport. A man called Alfahed, Tia Omwe Dodi, tó ń fẹ́ Princess Diana, kọ́lọ̀ fọ́n kẹ́ gbogbo wọn. There's also a conspiracy theory to how Diana died. Mọ̀mísí mi fẹ́ràn Diana bí mo tẹ̀ mọ́ tí mo lè fi quantify ẹ̀. Àwọn catalog wà nínú ilé mọ̀mísí mi tó bá ṣe mistake gbé dáadáa. A máa dàbí àtẹ́wẹ́ pé àwọn làwọn bí Diana ni. That is the kind of love that some people have for Diana. But that's not where we're going tonight. Do you know that Harrods, tí gbogbo yín rí ní Night Parade, was owned by Al-Fayed, and he was not given a British passport? If the Biafra exit today, we can mandate that we will not give them a Yoruba citizenship. Only those that have married, get me right now, because immigration is a very, very interesting. Those that have married and we have been living together before the exit of the Biafra, because as the UK exits the European Union, the European citizen that have lived there prior, Koto Dipe will exit, they are more at advantage than the new one that is coming. Grandma mi kan náà ni àwọn náà fẹ́ràn Diana, kò sẹ́ni tó fẹ́ràn ẹ̀, the princess of humanity. Ìyẹn lọ́mọ ẹ̀yẹn Harry, ìyẹn ni kò ṣe gree pẹ̀lú palace. Òun ti exit. If Odindi ọmọ bàbá exit the palace, do you know what it means to say that? Ẹ má bínú pé mo kàn mú yẹn wá láàrin méjì, because tá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ mo fẹ́ kí ó máa yé àwọn tó wà nílé pé nobody is against Tinubu, because Tinubu will be 81 years old by the time he leaves the Nigeria that you want to die on his behalf. Tinubu will be very rich. He will be taking the best medical. But Nigeria will never work for you and me as Yoruba people. But I want to stick with the Biafra first, because the Biafra agitation has entered the Senate. It is on another level now. Nobody can bring Simon Ekpa back to Nigeria. You are wasting your time. You can curse him from today to tomorrow. Simon Ekpa will fight with his last blood for the exit of the Biafra out of Nigeria. It will be painful. It will affect the Yoruba people. Let us all go and prepare our mind. If you do not want that, Tinubu, the president, must sit with them and discuss their exit out of Nigeria. And then we will then tighten the belt, just like the British is tightening the belt on immigration in this country. You will not get a British passport if you don't live here for 10 years. That might not affect somebody like us or those that have lived prior before the law, because the way law works is the law does not affect you that have lived side with the system. As an example now, if Nigeria breaks, which it will break, nobody has a time frame. Nobody knows when exactly, but take it to anywhere. Go on the spiritual realm. You don't need your pastor, you don't need Babalawo. You yourself, as a true Nigerian right now, go on that small little journey. Sacrifice yourself for a couple of days. Maje certain food. Keep yourself so that you can be able to foresee whether this unity that the West is forcing on us, it will fall on them back. The European country that are thinking that they can force us together after they've destroyed us, they've taken us backwards while they are moving forward, and they are tightening their own belt. it will eventually, Paris TV, Muki, it will eventually break. But the way it's going to break is that there will be a lot of pressure and tension. Nigeria is sitting on a very big, massive problem. The problem is not the leadership now. It is far way beyond leadership. What we are dealing with right now, Mukie Ayomi Kundamijo, Nigeria is dead from the day one. I mean, these are people that are taking us back that the foundation is faulty. Muki Mr. Theophilus Akitunde. The foundation is faulty. The British knew that merging us together under one bloc called Nigeria was one of the biggest mistakes. And the British will never, if you're expecting them to apologize for that, they will never, never apologize for that. Because an apology is not what the British is ready to do to all the atrocity that they've committed during the 200 years reign of their empire. Don't come and tell me that they've given you independence and we should go and manage that independent. The independent itself was faulty from day one because they were speaking different languages to different people. As they were speaking to Awolowo, they were having a different conversation with Azikiwe. They were having a different conversation with Tafa Balewa and the rest of those that were in that conference room. And they were also propagating a lot of atrocity. In your consent, the video consuming. Only Mr. Koiki, please, Ejo. You know, when people send video, they want us to watch it. Sometimes we can watch, sometimes we don't have the time. I can't remember the name of the Afine. Afine one shalaye all these terrorists that we are seeing today around the world, most of them, not all of them, majority of them were all part. I greet you, my brother Shalom. It's been a while. And as my brother, I hope he's out now or is he still in? All these terrorists that you are hearing, Boko Haram, ISIS, this and that, are fine any America to create one. They were using them to fight the Soviets from Afghanistan. Let me play this video again while I come back.
To a national crisis. Listeners should condemn the sit at home in totality, as well as the nefarious activities of Simon Ekpa, who is a gang leader. 2, urge the federal government of Nigeria to collaborate with the Finnish government and extradite Simon Ekpa for prosecution. 3, urge the federal government to use political solution and approach in handling the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
I pray that Tinubu listen. You know we love him. Omo Yoruba ni. Ṣẹ̀rẹ́ in Yoruba, amani Igbo ni Olagidi bi fan. Àbí ọmọ a máa ń pèdè kan Olagidi bi fan Igbo. Àwa gangan la lágídí. Àwa Yorùbá gangan ni à ń ṣagídí nísìn. Agídí tàdé ń ṣe ni pé we are not listening to the Biafrans. Tọ́nà wọn ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ̀. Yet, mo kí Mr. Murphy, mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, àtẹ̀ntí àdárúkọ, àtẹ̀ntí àdárúkọ, Ọ̀túnba Olúwaṣínà mo kí yín. Tẹ́ bá wa push message yẹn, a lè rìn. Bá ṣe election ní next year. Kódà kó wọn Amẹ́ríkà kó sọ fún yín pé kẹ́ lọ dìbò. Amẹ́ríkà mọ̀ pé ìrọ̀lẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ election Nàìjíríà kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe sí. Àwa la máa sọ fún Amẹ́ríkà pé èyí tá jọ ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà ti tó. Ẹ jẹ́ ǹkan kankan fún yín. Kò ń ṣe pé mò ń dẹnu níbí báyìí. Bí Amẹ́ríkà bá gbé ọwọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí Simon Ekpa ń fà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn, 1 million Biafra mi máa tún dìde. Ṣé rò pé Amẹ́ríkà ò monitor Biafra àti Simon Ekpa? Wọ́n monitor ẹ̀. Wọ́n tẹ̀lé máì tí ì rí àwa as any threat. Let me put it that way. But what's in real threat látara Biafra? And I'm sure pé ní background diplomatic, one discourse, but it is not something that will come into, whereas, many indigenous people, nationality will be born out of the artificial colonial state. I love that. Artificial in Nigeria. Àwọn European countries, they are 27. Àwọn wá náà wọn lágbára jù àwa lọ. Let me say it again. Biafra lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, right? They've become an emblem. But àwa Yorùbá la wá ń ṣagídí nísìn. A ní àfẹ́ bá wọn gbé. A ní àfẹ́ ràn wọ́n. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ń kanlẹ̀kùn pé ẹ ṣílẹ̀kùn fún wa, ẹja a máa lọ́n tiwa. Àwa ń tún tilẹ̀kùn mọ́ wọn. Ìwọ náà béèrè pé kí ló rò pé ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí. No. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ni mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn. I'm speaking to us now. What do you think is going to happen in the long run? Look, this union, it is not favorable to anyone. The political elite knows very well. I was watching the Northern Forum, the Northern Governor Forum, or whatever they call it, on the Southwest. I think I saw it on Simon Ekpa as well. Look at the way they're looking very fresh, as against those that went to visit, those people that they went to visit at the bomb that took place by the military killing Nigerians. Ayomiku, my brother, said the Biafran contribute millions into American economy. America don't want to lose that. Why do you think that Simon Ekpa is giving federal government a big time headache? And what should be the solution? I want to read a comment from those average Nigerians. Let them use the military to... Look, you cannot use military to threaten Biafra today. Maybe in the 60s. And in that 1967, when they were fighting the war, many countries that supported the British, today, the world is so divided. How many people watched the United Nations General Assembly yesterday? 2 countries veto again. How many people understand the meaning of veto? America and UK veto for ceasefire in the Middle East. I love the way the world is today. It is so divided. And if Biafra are making their push, some countries are just waiting for Biafra to hit the target and they'll back them up. You know why? Because there's hatred among all the world leaders today. The world is not the world of 1967 that the British lied to the world. Because the British are good in lying. They lied for 200 years during the empire. And today, they are trying to still remain as part of the world player. But the emergency of another country, like the Biafrans and the Yorubas, is why they are scared. Why would you, or why would I pray, Mokia Diziman 123? Those European countries are the architect of the problem we are facing since 1914. Southern and the Northern Protectorate. Somebody said, my brother, it's been a long time, brother. I just came back from Nigeria. Oh, Lagbara. Well, people say, Koko Lagbara. Be along with Billy Q àti Pasoma àti Billy Q àti Merry Christmas in advance to you all. Mo ti rí nǹkan Christmas mi ò yá mi búkì ẹ kàn ní Merry Christmas. Ṣé Turkey ni kí n máa retí? Gbogbo ẹ̀ lè mi celebrate ẹ má ní Muslim ni mi kẹ́ ẹ má fún mi ní nǹkan Christmas o. Ọlọ́run bá wà pẹ̀lú yín. What God cannot do does not exist. Aṣọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé. Ẹni ọdún bá láyé ló ń ṣọdún o. Mi ò fẹ́ràn Christmas. Ẹ̀sìn àwọn Christian ni ọmọ má tán rẹ̀ bá pè kó tètè yá jẹun tó máa jẹ. anyway náà poverty ti wà ń lé nísìnyí mo tẹ́lẹ̀ bí atẹ́lẹ̀ dẹ̀ máa ń sọ yẹn eléyìí tí Christmas yìí fẹ́ dé nísìnyí everybody máa wá tó ti fẹ́ jẹun ni mo tẹ̀ ń gbọ́ Tọ́lá Súnkànmí tó náà máa wá àwọn tó máa fún ní chicken èmi ò ní chicken fẹ́ fẹ́ anybody o ẹ bá gbọ́wọ́ sọ̀wọ́ àṣìgbọ́wọ́ fún Ìgbòho ẹ má ká sọ̀rọ̀ gbàgbé ẹ bá gbọ́wọ́ ìyá mi ti ní àwọn get back sí mi tẹ bá ti gba salary ni ọ̀tẹ́ ti yọ gbogbo àwọn change ẹ má kọ́ remnant tó bá dẹ́kọ̀ ẹ̀fẹ́ mi náà nú ẹ̀ ṣe gan ni thanks so much àbá ṣe ń gba owó fún olóyè Ìgbòho fún Koiki Media àti raise it close to almost 900 I want to push it kó tẹ̀ dòdìndín ìyá tó bẹ̀ mí náà ti fọ ó ti gbọ́n sáwò 200,000 ní mọ̀ sí tèmi náà kólẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ ti kó tẹ̀ sílẹ̀. Biafra agitation, to some of us, we might not like the style. And that is why some are saying Koiki Otin Lord in the line of the Biafrans, Omoluabi Lawa. And I agreed. With tempo down, Eric Boro Migonisi, Onda Biwa Depe, Yanshe lecture ni, which is, but I'm going to continue my egun she, but style wa ma yato, Mongo ma egun no lale. Very good brother, doing very well. Kódà wọ́n ti ní àwọn Ìgbò ló ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ṣẹ́rí a lè máa sọ̀rọ̀ for life. There must be a full stop at some point. Full stop yẹn ni Biafra fi gbé jáde o. And some of us must back it for the betterment of everybody. Mo mọ̀ pé it is not the taste of what they like láti fi gbọ́, but that is the best option. Kí lẹ rò pé UK àti America wọ́n jọ máa ń back ara wọn for whether it is good or bad. We are not saying that if this country fall apart, they will still want to come and overrun us. They might, probability wa. But for now, oh yes, we are all in it together. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá fi support fún Tolóyè tá ń gbà, ìyẹn separate nìyẹn o, kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú tèmi. Àti raise close to 800. So àdẹ̀ṣe ń gbọ́n sáwò. Ẹni tó bá need account number, ẹ jẹ́ n pè síta because ìyẹn wà important. A fẹ́ fi sọ pé thank you on the Koiki Media, especially ìnáwó oríṣiríṣi ló wà lọ́rùn olóyè kọ́lọ́n kó wà pẹ̀lú bàbá yẹn fún wa. I have to go on my website. Mo kàn fẹ́ sáré pé account yẹn kó lè because àwọn kan tó ń ní Koiki ṣé account yẹn ṣó confirm ni ntí bá fi síta èmi mo fi síta. And like I said, this is a donation up to Monday. It's just 48 hours. After 48 hours, we cut it off and then we move on. So if you put any money after 48 hours, you got to let me know so that Mama Kwe or Chief ne. There's a picture of myself and Chief. Timothy Sori community wa originally comment in Morimbe. And comment is on at it doesn't matter if me come matter. 309-680-8848. First Bank Olayomi Koiki. 30, 30 96 80 88 48, and nothing is too small. What we are saying tonight is very, very important because the senators were feki wala de la ona ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn. Mukiyawa Wura_de beauty. It was great to see you. Ìwòye last week àti dé láti Thanksgiving ọjọ́ kìí pẹ́ Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká jẹ burúkú Ọlọ́run má dẹ̀ ká jẹ gbèsè tí àwọn shark loan tẹ́ máa ń gbà Nàìjíríà yẹn kọ́ máa kanlẹ̀kùn mọ́ yín lórí. Ìwòye last week èmi àti wọn sí mi Ọlọ́run máa wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Fatai gbogbo wa ní Thanksgiving very good event àtútù wà ní another week. Gbogbo adẹ̀ là ń dàgbà à ń bẹ Ọlọ́run ká túbọ̀ dàgbà sí i. Èmi ò mọ̀ bí àwọn kan wà worried and concerned about the next generation. Má sọ fún èèyàn pé kó má wá sí abroad, ẹ̀yin jẹ́ kó máa bọ̀. Tẹ́yìn ò bá ti jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ fẹ́ náwó yẹn, tó bá ṣáà ti dé bíbà, ìtẹ̀ bá lè ṣe fún wọn. Kúkú ní gbé pẹ̀lú yín, ìlú yìí ò ń jẹ́ pé bí Nàìjíríà, àǹtí mẹ́jẹ ń gbé lọ, ó lè gbé ní bíbà yó. No. Lọ wá yàrá kan ní Peckham ní South East, lọ gbé níbẹ̀. I do not pray for anybody to come and live in this country for 15 years tó lè jáde kúrò nílùú yìí, which is what happened to somebody like me. So the future tá à ń sọ nísìnyí pé some of us now that came in our own very early stage. Èmi ò tí pé 40, mo ti pé 50. I'm still in my 40 plus, okay? I'm sure some of you know my real age anyway, because èmi ò ṣe Bola Tinubu. So, but it's just not something ká máa fi pé the hair. Bola Tinubu ni age wà, discrepancy wà lórí age. Because nígbà tó fi lọ America, age kan ló lò. Gbogbo àná dẹ̀ la mọ̀ bó ṣe ń lọ. Àti yọ age kan, ẹlòmíì ti decrease age, ẹlòmíì increase ẹ̀. Bó bá ṣe ọ̀nà tó bá ṣàgbà tó fi dé abroad, ìyẹn kàn mí. But in reality, kí lẹ rò pé Bola Tinubu lè ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn Biafra? Ìyẹn gangan mo fi bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá lálẹ́. Bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ pẹ̀lú Simon Ekpa, Nnamdi Kanu, ẹja sì fi tolóyè sílẹ̀ because Bola Tinubu àbí Akólóyè ẹ mọ̀ pé àwa ń fi sentiment sí on our own end. But kí lẹ rò pé ó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ between the federal government àti Biafra? Biafra ọ̀nà òun fẹ́ ja ogun ẹja agbọ́ra wa dáadáa o. But wọ́n dúró tán. Èmi ò ní wọ́n ní gbogbo tó lè fi bá federal government jà o. But èèyàn ń bá irú ìjà tí ó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, ẹ lè bá government jà, ẹ fèsì ara yín báyìí, wá destroy yín because Biafra ò tí ní air power. Mo kí àwa Grace Olúṣòótọ́. But federal government ò lè win látòkè. America tried for 20 years in Afghanistan. Ìyẹn la America ṣe ń sọ fún in tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní Middle East. Wọ́n ti ń sọ fún àwọn yẹn pé ṣe ṣọ́ọ̀pẹ́ fẹ́ take ìlú ẹ máa gbà mọ́ra easy mo kí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò èèyàn ti Koiki Media. Mo tún ń béèrè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Kí ni Bola Tinubu Aṣíwájú Jagaban, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, kí ló gbọdọ̀ ṣe pẹ̀lú òun àti ọ̀rọ̀ Biafra àti Nnamdi Kanu? Kí lẹ́yìn rò pé kó ṣe? Ṣé kó wò wọ́n ràn kọ́ máa ṣe tán ṣe lọ? While the senators are saying that bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí, things might explode. Ẹ jẹ́ n padà sórí page Simon Ekpa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Facebook wa kan ẹ lè má lè gbọ́n tó ń sọ. Mo kí Mr. Gani Oguns, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà, mo kẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà ní different part of the world tí a jọ ń gbọ́ Yorùbá nation. Èmi náà máa ń gbọ́ gossip ó máa ń dùn. But ó ti yé yín. Oh, somebody say speak English. Oh my God. Where are you from? Are you Nigerian? Okay, I'm Tetiri. Chineke. Inwa Chineke. Okay, I should speak English. We're trying to mix it. I know the topic has got to do with the Biafrans, but I'm speaking Yoruba, but I'm trying to push the English more into it. I'll try my best. What Nigeria? Okay, thanks so much. So what I'm just trying to explain to my Yoruba families, what should the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu do? Oh, your life in Texas. Okay, thanks so much for joining us. What should he do with the present situation with the Biafrans? Should they start discussing? Look, even if Biafra is not going to break in the next 2 years, I don't pray so, in the next 4 years, but do you think that they should start having this dialogue between the federal and the group known as the Biafrans? They're split as well. They have those that are calling themselves the DOS, and they have the autopilot. And the first thing the federal government needs to do is to first release Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu returns back to court, if I'm right, on the 15th of this month. They've been going to court for 3 years. The UN has spoken. The humanitarian, everybody has spoken that Nnamdi Kanu's kidnap and rendition to Nigeria is just like what ECOWAS said with Oloye Igboho, that it is wrong. Good evening once again. Many of you are watching, especially on the Koiki Media, but I can see that you're not liking and thumbs up for the video. Maybe you're just passing through. Once again, Yawa Grace Olúṣòótọ́ sọ pé, firstly, Tinubu must release Nnamdi Kanu and use his own ideas to settle this problem. Use his own idea to settle everything on ground now before things get out of hand, because Biafra are really ready to exit Nigeria anytime. Even if Biafra is not fully ready, and I use the word even if they are not fully ready, their style of agitation, quest for the Nigeria unity is becoming extremely worrisome for some of us and not every one of us. For somebody like me, I stand shoulder to shoulder with the Biafran agitation. I might not agree with all the views of who they are and how they are. That, for me, is what the British did by forcing us to live together, knowing fully well that we are not of the same ethnic background. We are not of the same culture, and we will never have the same ideology. We might become friends as a partner, as a country. The more reason why Nigeria is proving difficult to be dismantled, de-amalgamated. There is many stakeholders in today's Nigeria, and I am not joking now. I think speaking English is driving the TikTok, maybe, I don't know. There is a lot of interest in today's Nigeria. Let's first talk about the shipping line in Nigeria. It's one of the biggest cartel in the world. Omar Kinsokwe, the government should openly declare the self-determination is human right, and that will force those detention. The Constitution of Nigeria doesn't have what it takes in terms of the right to self-determination, or no, referendum is what I want to say, not self-determination. Safety domain said the kidnapping and extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu is the highest level of illegality by the Buhari administration. Tinubu shouldn't continue with that illegality. We love President Bola Tinubu. Look, we don't have to be on the same page. We don't have. I understand some of you say, oh, we have Yoruba people have gone quiet. You know, Tinubu is there. That's your own cup of tea. He's a Yoruba man. We will love him, but we will not accept him because he's a one Nigeria, just like Obasanjo. Mukek Bomi the real now. Jejelaye, good evening, and those of you that have joined us, Otumbalu Ashino, and the rest of you that are coming in and out. It's a Saturday night. We are not in a club. It's a discussion about our future now. I know many of us don't care of this future. 15 years of my life. I mean, you can say, well, that's your problem. Well, that is the reason why I am even more worried. Because, you know, oh, Mr. Ahmed Jamiu, Gbogbo Togo, báwo lọ́hún yẹn ṣe rí? Ṣé máa ń róúnjẹ Nàìjíríà jẹ níbẹ̀? Kò tẹ̀ síbi tí Igbo àti Yorùbá ò sí. Ẹ bá ti jẹ̀bá Igbo, Ọlọ́run bá wà pẹ̀lú yín ní Togo. I've never been that, but that is where they can get to. I hope you can get to Europe one day. Let me say it clearly again. There is a danger of the future of this country we are calling Nigeria. And that danger is that everybody is trying to deceive themselves that everything is cool and everything is going well. But there is so much fighting. I do not pray to foresee us killing each other in that Nigeria. But the way things are right now, the West care less how many of us die anyway. I'm not linking it to one country now so that I don't get quoted to say, Koiki, you have put it on one country. I just say the West. Happy Man says, all the oil wells in the southern are owned by the northern part of the country. Look, even if they own it, they can still negotiate it. I mean, what I mean negotiate is say, look, we will just hold it for another 10, 20 years, but we let you go. And even if the Biafra say, look, okay, keep the oil well, but we want to go, you cannot hold them any longer. Maximum, the way things are, I'm not saying Nigeria is going to break anytime soon, but the way things are now, it can explode. And that, for me, we should all be concerned. You can go back and look at the history, especially a country like Nigeria where genocide was committed in that region. We're not saying that they're perfect people. I am not here to defend them. Some of you might come up with all different arguments, especially the Yoruba conservative. I don't care whatever your arguments are, especially somebody like Adeyinka grandson. I pray that he gets out of the prison and then he can come out and at least Tinubu is there. Some of you that have even asked that, what is Tinubu going to do about Adeyinka grandson? Tinubu is not going to do anything because Adeyinka grandson was sentenced by the British law, not the Nigerian law. Adeyinka grandson hate the Igbos so much. Maybe it is time that we let them go. I'm coming back again.
Mr. President, it is common knowledge that our brothers from the southeast likely hold the commerce of this great country. If commerce, therefore, is shut down in this part of the country, I'm afraid it indeed a national problem.
If what is happening in the southeast is not a national problem to you and me, the corrupt senator are already complaining. Why do you think they're complaining? Why do you think they are worried? They are not worried because of me and you. They are worried that a lot of their investment might go into it. Thank you so much, Mr. Adesoji. Says, even Mr. Koiki, the only answer to the Nigerian problem is to dissolve the country. Dissolving is one word. How is it going to be dissolved? Is the question many Nigerians are asking. Many Nigerians know that the country is so battered, it's so damaged. Some are trying to, every day, trying to see if they can. Look, we cannot fix Nigeria on the social media. Neither can we take it down from the social media. What we are all just doing is what they called engagement, enlightenment, education. There was nothing of such when I came to this country in 1998. I'm talking about this kind of engagement. So that shows that we are becoming much more connected as against some 20 years ago. Okay, Honor Atile Yoruba Soro. Thanks so much, Mr. Murphy K. And this is what is making, the interesting part, that people think that going on the Twitter space, we will break Nigeria from there. Going on the Twitter space, you will solve the Nigerian problem. Going to watch Koiki Media, no. What we are saying now is that we are all becoming much more creating awareness of things that we should know. The video come out. When Yar'Adua, I saw a video. I don't want to be using anybody's video, like I said. I saw one. Yar'Adua was there. He gave the wife 5,000. They buy a lot of things. When Jonathan came, they still buy some few stuff, but some things started reducing. Then Buhari came. They couldn't even buy drink and water. They buy some few things. Now Tinubu came. Look, we will continue to be used as statistics. People like the KPMG, all these big economics, they'll be using Nigeria for game, Ludo. What we are saying is that we want to set up and have another system of government separate from the one that was established in 1960. We want to have a system of government that was there prior before 1914 amalgamation. I'm giving you two different angles now. There was a government that was running prior before the 1914 amalgamation, when we have the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate. It is one thing that the Parliament in UK, that is where the real problem is. They amalgamated Nigeria from that building. They will not. They will rather die with their rather than come out and say the truth. They will die with that truth. So if any one of us is expecting the British government that could not stand against the federal government of Nigeria to say that the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu was wrong. We are now expecting the same British government. That is why Simon Ekpa operation from Finland, don't you think that the British government would have been doing so much to work with the Finland government? But do you know why it is different? It is two different ideology. The Finnish people have gone through similar route, like what the Biafrans are going through right now. So it will be difficult. We pray all the time for the safety of the PM, government in exile of Simon Ekpa. If the European countries cannot do anything, because they know that the real fight, if anything happen, as we are saying to Bola Tinubu now, don't allow the Northerners to fool you against holding Nnamdi Kanu longer than you can still release him and still run your own government and decide whether you will let us all break or you just hand it back to the North and let the North deal pẹ̀lú àwọn Biafra. That's the subject to if Tinubu doesn't want to break the country up. But for the fact that everybody thinks that we can be sleeping, wake up, sleeping, some of us are having fun, we sleep with our wife, our girlfriend, we go to America, we go to Dubai, the government is running, and then you think that that will be continuity like that. That is why Gbenga Daniel, all these criminal politicians, is saying the Southeast is the e-commerce of Nigeria, and everybody knows that. Look, whether they are using drug money to run it or not, the whole operation of the world is corrupt and fraud. I don't care whatever you say. I am not here to condone any criminality. But the world that we are living today is all built on lies. And they want to use the African part to continue to step up while me and you are struggling as we don't even know our real identity. Some of us are just waiting to get a British passport, American passport, Canadian passport. That is if you're lucky anyway, because things are becoming tougher. You will live in UK for 10 years now before you get a British passport, as against 5 years. Somebody like me will qualify if I want to, because I've lived here for 25 years. So you might say, well, I don't care, I'm not coming to Britain, but Britain continue to use whatever they can use in that part of Africa as a business center. So where we are today right now is what they call diplomatic. There will be diplomatic. There will be negotiation. Don't let anybody fool you. You can't negotiate with Bola Tinubu. No, we will negotiate with him. We must sit on the round table. We are not sitting on the round table where, people are going there like the Afenifere have done for years, saying they are representing all these Ohanze or whatever they call themselves. We, the new breed of this generation, don't trust any of these people anymore. They failed to speak the kind of languages that we want to be hearing today. That is why people are listening to me. They are listening to Sunday Igboho. They are listening to Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, government in exile. They are listening to as many of us that are agitating, while some are being distracted with all the fertility, the jagbajantis that entail in that part of Africa. But it will all be a full stop. Let's move swiftly to something else I picked up from Simon, the PM, government in exile of the Biafra. And continue to support wherever you can for the right of the Yoruba people and the Biafrans. We will never be one, and we can never be one. Let's go further. There's something else I picked up. Vanguard newspaper, Japa Bishop Kuka, if you feel that you need to leave Nigeria, my uncle Yomi Benson said, I don't even know the reason why. That's why I said I hope that this time around, in 5 days' time, Nnamdi Kanu returns back to court. Whether appear himself, I don't know, or just his legal team. But I hope behind the scene for Tinubu to have that stability, to at least walk his way and decide what he wants to do for every one of us. Because I don't believe in Tinubu is going to break up Nigeria until we put pressure on him, directly and indirectly. It doesn't have to be violent. But if anyone is hoping and thinking that Tinubu is breaking up Nigeria on our behalf, you will leave until Tinubu exit Nigeria, which is going to be 2031. Tinubu is going to be there for 8 years. Go and write it down. He will rig himself back in again after 2027. He will make sure that he gets the ticket again. Nobody will beat him. And we pray for his good health. But that means that 8 years is only the option on the table for the Yoruba people. Power might never even return to the Southwest. The Igbos were never going to give opportunity anyway. If the North takes hold of power again, go and listen to El Rufai. El Rufai says even the Christian will never be governor in Kaduna State. And the same Kaduna is where they've been bombing. Bishop Roman Catholic of Diocese of Sokoto, Bishop Matthew Kuka, I'm sure a lot of you know him, has now advised young Nigerians. I don't classify myself as a young Nigerians anymore because I'm in my 40s. I'm talking to many of you in your 20s, that your life has now been at stake and things are becoming tough. We might not say that everything will be smooth as soon as we break out of Nigeria. There'll be a lot of, things that needs to be tidied up. The UK exit European Union in 2016, or it is settled down. So don't expect that Nigeria breaks up, but the breakup will be something that if it is done diplomatically, if we all fail to allow the breakup of Nigeria in a systematic way that it doesn't have a big impact on us, it will take another 30, 40 years before everything will settle down. You know why? There will be a lot of warlords. There will be a lot of insecurity more. That is why more pressure on Tinubu is more intelligent than Buhari, dead or alive, because as far as I'm concerned, we don't know whether he was alive or he's dead. But I know that the world that we are living today, Buhari could be dead and they could be bringing somebody as a proxy. I don't doubt that in my life. I've lived in UK, I know what they can do. I've lived in Europe, I know what they can do. The world is so in a way that they can tell you that that is Buhari and it might not be Buhari. But I am not here to argue that. What I am sitting here for on a daily basis is to continue to highlight and ask the real question. Should we stick to the Biafrans or the Igbos within Nigeria when they are knocking the door to exit? What do we want? If you have not supported the mission that we are saying we are raising for Igboho, it is not too late. We still have today and tomorrow for it. I'm not bringing anybody in for those of you sending requests. It is too late. And because I'm even trying to reduce my voice because the family is sleeping upstairs. Let's come back again to the conversation. Why do we all want to exit Nigeria? Is Nigeria doing something to us? Ṣé Nigeria ń ṣe nǹkan kan fún wa? Is it because Mr. Murphy said, Mr. Koiki, very soon Nigeria will scatter, remaining small. Everybody's already crazy. I don't doubt that. Bola Tinubu is trying to fix a system that if found. Bola Tinubu did not destroy Nigeria, okay? But he met a system that for decades was destroyed by the military. The Nigerian military destroyed Nigeria The politicians are now doing what they call top up. But many of us that are now saying, let us stop it now for the next future. If I am just 40 years old, let's put it there, 40 years old. Before you close your eyes, do you know that I'll be 60? And if we still remain in Nigeria as it is right now, there will be so much that many of our people that are 60 today, they'll be 80. Those that are 80 will be 100. Those that are 100 will be 120, depending on how God gives everybody long life. But we are still holding on to a fake identity. Mokiyawa Folashade Ojo, Ekabo Ebanke Gramani Nole. So when I was in a TikTok space yesterday, because we are now the 10th day of the month of December, a woman was ranting, blah, 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 about the Mobad. I am a Nigerian, and but I don't understand why we are not getting justice. And I said, the British never wanted us to get justice. That's why they kept us together in 1914. The British knew that for us to have a better life, they will not have joined us all together. So I'm going to take us back to just one country, and we'll talk about it briefly. Mr. Florence said, Tinubu did not destroy Nigeria, but who destroyed Lagos, or who inevitable the growth of the Lagos? Well, Lagos is just one out of the 36 states. We're talking about a whole country now. Lagos is not Nigeria. So if I say Tinubu did not destroy Nigeria, yeah, he could destroy Lagos. He kept Lagos under his wrap. Nobody's doubting that. But he hasn't destroyed Nigeria. Nigeria has been destroyed because that is what the British Empire wanted. Let's go straight to, I want to take us back again to our last conversation. 1514 declaration. I just want to talk about that again. 9 countries, like I said the last time, refuse, just as today, in our lifetime. This was in 1960. Maybe because a lot of you are not following I follow the briefing of the United Nations on a daily basis. Just on Friday, America and UK veto that there will not be ceasefire in the ongoing fight in the Middle East. I'm not here to back anything, but I am just telling you that the same, I think UK did an absentee. 9 countries that were absent in 1960. Some of those countries today, a lot of us love them. Just like I love to live in this country because I have freedom. But this country was absent when they were making a resolution that would have supported what I'm doing today. UK was absent in 1960, December 14, precisely. During the colonial era, or colonialism, like we said the last time, is a practice by which one group of people, social construct, or nation state controls direct or impose taxes. Many of you, or many of us, including myself, Agbodo Koko accept we were damaged during that period, and it is taking us longer time to come back to normality. So if anybody is saying today that, oh, because Nigeria, we gotta keep Nigeria, you are still thinking like the way they did with us during the colonial era. It was a very bad time in the history of the world. Most of the underground stations that you see in this country were put together by the slaves. They used us. And using us, Titi the Wakati, is the only, look, we are not here to talk about Nigeria economy, dollar. No, no, no. We're talking about our identity. And if care is not taken, we will lose that real identity the longer we want to stick to Nigeria. We must first fight for who are we, our identity. Taniwa Gongo. Why was our identity changed to favor the colonial people as at the time? Kilodito change identity. It's just because they were selfish for their own selfish gain. Opening Port Harcourt and Calabar Seaport can create jobs for youth, bring back Nitel, create jobs. All that is not going to happen. It is just mirage. We're waiting for the NNPC to open the Port Harcourt refinery this month. We're already on the 10th. I watched a video about it some few days ago. What can we gain from history? Like I said, if you still want to support the 48 hours donation from Koiki Media to CSI, it is 309-9680-8848. It's voluntary. And please don't send message and say, I need Igboho's direct account. Like I say, you might as well just go to Germany and give it to him yourself. It's voluntary for Koiki Media. Let's go through some history. Again, this is a platform that educates myself and you. Especially, we're not talking about your degree that took you 4 or 5 years in Nigeria, and today you can't get a job out of it. Christopher Columbus set sail from Spain in 1492. In recent years, the story of this journey has evolved from an exciting tale of exploration to an event marking the beginning of violence against indigenous population in the North and the South America. Violence has been used on every single one of us, and they are still using it till date, directly or indirectly. We'll make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Mr. Tajuddin, Alowonle, Emma Benu Moshenrini, Ekale, and the rest of you that are still with us on the track. Ganelo Yede, shout out to you. Akin Games, good evening, and the rest of those that are listening on the Mixlr. We are just exactly 1 hour, 54 minutes into the broadcast. My name is still Olayomi Koiki, the platform that educates you from a different angle. During the Portuguese exploration, Peter Pan, shout out to you, my brother, and Mr. Clement, all hail Biafrans. During the exploration in 1500, as at the time Portuguese were coming into our territory, we were already well civilized 500 years before that. Go to every part of Yoruba. Thanks so much, Peter Pan, for moving around. We said thank you from Koiki Media and up to the backup channel. And a lot of you are not helping us to push the backup channel. How many people, Emma Paro, have subscribed to the backup channel? Yes, we're keeping the fire burning. That's why we're doing night job. So whenever we sit there, we're burning the candle, we're burning the time, but it's worth it, because one day you will know that colonialism destroyed Africa. They split Africa to their own taste. Go to Benin Republic, you will not even realize that it's an African country that belongs to Yoruba land. Everything is almost imported into that part of the world. But today, their currency is much more value than the Naira. And you are still thinking that the country is working. Maybe for those politicians. Thank you so much, Peter Pan. If you haven't subscribed to the backup channel, let me know so that we can share the link with you tonight. Very, very important that we hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And it has to be done by every one of us. That is the only thing you can do for us. Help us so that we can also continue to do very well. And I'm reading this article now from the National Geographic website.com, which says www.nationalgeographic.com/culture/article/colonialism. Because a lot, and I'm also tweeting it right now so that you can find it on my X. So if you call my X now, you will definitely find it. All my handles are Koiki Media, apart from Olayomi, which is on the Instagram, and the Koiki Media Odudua, which is a page, and it also has an handle. Well, Koiki Media main handle, Olayomi Koiki, that I opened in 2007, has been taken away from me during the course of this quest, which is something that we expect. Because a lot of you might say, you don't have the numbers. Hey, look at the people watching. I saw somebody say, Koiki, I told you, you will not get the numbers. It's because what I'm doing is so important that Facebook will not allow 500,000 of my followers to listen to what I'm saying every day. It will break up Nigeria in no time. But when it is secretary, all this gossip, you will see Facebook allow the word that is being said there can be translated to English. But Facebook allowed that because anything that has sexual explicit inside is a great thing for the content for Facebook. If I'm talking about breast every day this country, in this platform, sorry to our mothers and sisters and auntie. Tiban Soro breast on you. I go fight you. I know they see you. What's going on? It looks like you're working some extra hours for the Christmas. You want to make sure you buy all my children, my uncle, and your husband this nice Christmas gift. So you are doing extra hours. We can't find you on the platform. How you doing, my sister? And I say, anytime I come to Canada, me and your husband, we go sit down, we go drink pamu, you go cook isewu for us. They want to get carried away. Many of us today, Yoruba Nation movement says, why Nigerian government denied Biafra to have their own separate country? Nigeria is a fake country. It has always been fake because during the 1884, everybody took their own share. Mr. Koik, I think it is good to always share the backup channel link each time you come online. Well, you're right. We should be doing that. It's just that all my team, only one is awake, the rest, one has been working all day. So let me share it. Please help us to, click on it. Even if you're not watching it from there, just click on it and help us to move it. So please, it's important. You are all our fans. When we get the 1,000, and hopefully our Koiki Media will become stable in the new year, we might just literally stick everything and everybody back on one channel. But for now, we are growing that. And I should be tweeting it as well. Yeah, you're right. So please, about subscribe. We only have 600 people there. We need 1,000. That's what I've been told by the YouTube. I need 1,000 to be able to help. Please, if you're looking for it, it's just straightforward. It's called WD76. I've just posted it. And let's see if we can post the link as well on the Facebook comment section, and I'll go back to the conversation. I think I might have a bit of strength. If I can go over 3 hours, I'll see, because I slept very well today. I'm still on the colonialism. Colonialism is defined as control by one power over a dependent area or people. I want to say it in Yoruba so that I want our Yoruba people to understand this. During the Igboho colonialism, what control our Tajamo Yoruba, our Igbo, our Hausa, our Igbo region, and they were using violence, serious violence. Now, violence that they used as at that time, there was no joke. If you disagree, they will kill you. It was a bloody era as at that time. It was a real bloody era. So, Koiki because Most of the people that are watching on Koiki Media do not click on the link. So we have 111 people that are watching us on Koiki Media. It keeps going from 114, is dropping. Don't worry about the views on my platform. I am doing the right thing, so I don't expect to get the right numbers. Okay, that's what I was saying before. I mean, Facebook knew that I am not talking about breast and the other part of the body that I don't want to talk about. If I was talking about breast every day on my platform, the traffic would drive very fast. That is why those that are doing shakbeteri, some of the word that sister is saying, I'm sure some of you listen to it. I go there and listen to it as well. I mean, it's an adult page, so which is allowed, but that is what Facebook wants. But what we are discussing right now is the real cocoa that we should be talking about. And Facebook, literally, I am not the only one. Most people that are activists, I can put myself as an activist as well. We are a target for all the social media. The European countries can tell them to control so that the 500,000 people that are on my Facebook, one of my page, I have 350,000 followers, but they don't get any notification when I go live. It's a deliberate act. During the time of colonialism, it was a Mukiyawa Titilola rather, sure. And thank you so much again to those of you that have contributed so far to CSI funding. And if you are one of those that are asking for CSI's account, I say it again, go to Germany and deliver it to yourself. It occurs when one nation subjugates. We're going to do some dictionary meaning this evening again. What is the meaning of subjugate? We've done this before. It's just that as the end of the year, what I'm going to do till the end of the year now is what we called summary of what we've done from the beginning of the year, because the year has been back to back. Mukiba Bawa, deja vu, Oludunu. Don't let any individual, your friend, your family tell you Nigeria is going to bounce back. It will never bounce back. Rather than bounce back, the Biafra will pull it down. And that is why it is important that Asiwaju Tinubu discuss with Biafrans. One of my brothers sent a message to me through email. I love when I receive his message because I know that his message is always very powerful. Okay. Someone even sent a receipt to me. I think I mentioned the mother already. I'm very sure. And we said, thank you so much. Let me double check. As I was mentioning all the names, I'm just seeing the receipt that she sent to me. Yeah, Motidaro Coin, big donation, Mrs. Stella Oyetunji, and we're very grateful. And like I said, every penny will get to Igboho Osha. He was shocked when I called him yesterday and tell him what I was doing. He didn't expect it. He was even thanking me. I said, no, don't thank me. We should thank you. Now, let me quickly open that email, and then I'm going to go back to Barbados. How many people know Barbados? Let's give you a background to Barbados quickly. And this article that I'm reading, I'm going to share the link. I love to share the link because I'm talking to people that can reason and say, okay, my Lord, check in Tibobo in Sobiaro Lumpa. How many people know Barbados? I've shared the link on the YouTube. How many people know Barbados? Ama Uche, Italy. I hope it's not too cold. How you doing, brother? Quick, I told you long ago that I can no longer get notification. Well, that is what they are doing now, my brother. They are reducing our people from seeing us. But it's okay. We are still here. So I'm going to also post that on my timeline. And I'm going to tell you, somebody sent this to me, and I love when I read from this brother. And it goes like this quickly. So we want to first find out what is Barbados? How many people know Barbados? Barbados is an Eastern Caribbean island and an independent British Commonwealth nation. Bridgetown is the capital, just like Lagos is the capital. Abuja is the capital, rather. The whole population of Barbados is not up to 300,000. It's 281,000. Their official language is English. They are still driving on the left-hand side. But their prime minister is asking for something. Mr. John, how are you, Mr. Koiki? God bless you for this evangelism. Eshegoni, we're trying with the help of many of you. Sometimes with some surprises that sometimes we don't expect. That is a good thing when you are, the forefront. I am not the leader. I am just the forefront media guy. And you have a very good media. We go back to the colonialism. I just want to link it with these. The Barbados Prime Minister, and this is coming from the Guardian newspaper, the Barbados Prime Minister says that the country hold $4.9 trillion as she makes fresh call for reparation. How many people know reparation? The UK is not going to pay that money. So what we can just ask for is just, if we can get their support, oh yes, we need it. I'm not saying because UK is the one holding us together, we cannot still seek for their support. But whether they will give you the support, I don't think so. Rather, they will say they are creating all these proxy NGOs, scholarship. How can the UK say they are giving us, there's a particular scholarship that they talk about, Anafini scholarship. They are actually taking the best of us, Nigerians, to the country and run their own economy. UK is cold though. I could hear the sound is doing like the thing we want to remove, pan. And this country, we know they get pan. Everything is like, I don't know what they call it. UK is a different kind of building. But America, everything, if weather come, if you carry the house. There was a year my mom said she went to America. Her friends say that truck is carrying a house. My mom said, which kind of house? America, they moved their house from one end to the other. God bless America. I have somebody that gave me this. God bless America for us. One of my uncle gave me this. God bless America. I will come next year, God's willing. People, they wait for me there. Now, let's come back to the conversation. King Charles, May Motel tells London audience that King Charles' comment about slavery impact were welcome. Slavery is something that we should never forget. Our forefathers will not be happy with us if we do not fight all the way through with this fight. How long it's going to take? It doesn't matter. We still fight it, just like the Mau Mau fought the British for 13 years. 13 good years. Let's go. Thank you so much. Yes, we're doing a recap of everything that we need to know, Mr. Lakayode. So that's what we're going to do before the end of the year, God's willing. King Charles commented that the time has come to acknowledge, get that word very well, acknowledge. Chinedu, thank you so much. What do you say? I do know Barbados, a very, very small country. You're right. Not sure what Chinedu said there. Chinedu says, and I quote, "Are you still want to exit from Nigeria, sir?" What do you think, Chinedu? What do you think? I'm asking you the same question. What do you think? We want to exit. I don't know whether you want to be in Nigeria as a Igbo or Biafra, because I know Chinedu is not Yoruba man. King Charles commented that the time has come to acknowledge the enduring impact of slavery has been welcomed by the Prime Minister of Barbados as she spoke in London about the need for reparation. I know you're a Biafra. Okay, I don't know what I've said again now that they say restricted for 10 minutes on the TikTok. TikTok is a very, They're putting certain words there. We've been at slavery the year, I don't know which one the year. You know, consume substance future in this life could harm your health. Consuming substance. What am I consuming? This TikTok get wild out. We're 1 hour away to the end of the program, or less. So what we are doing now is just, refresher. We've said this before in the new year, in the beginning of the year, but many people might not have listened, so we're doing a refresher. So I'm going to go back again to what is colonialism? The subjugation of indigenous people. Who are the indigenous people? Yoruba are indigenous people. Biafrans are indigenous people. Arewa is indigenous people. All other 350 ethnic groups that were put together in one block are all indigenous people. So why then, as an indigenous person, you want to keep Nigeria? Mokibaba, Mr. Victor Adebayo, Mokini Kiti, Moki London, Osun, ní Lagos, Mokini gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, títí dé outside ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, up to the southeast and the northeast, the northwest, and around the world, up to different African countries. I am still Olayomi Koiki Media. It's just coming up to 1:20 a.m. Thank you so much, Chinedu. Why are we, the indigenous people, now trying to say that we don't want to be an indigenous person, but we want to be called Nigerians? We are Nigerians. It is part of this mental slavery. Don't expect Seun Kuti. I love him. His own views is always this Africanism, Pan-Africanism. Look, forget about all that. Let's first fight and get out of Nigeria before we talk about Pan-Africanism. But he's doing very well. His father fought for his own enjoyment today. Some of us, our father hasn't fought for the enjoyment. And that is why some of us have to fight now for the betterment and the enjoyment of the next generation. And it has to be done now. It does not matter how painful, how many nights, how many days, how many weeks, how many money we spend. We must not stop the campaign. We stand shoulder to shoulder with our leaders. 1914 was mentioned here, a very terrible year. The year that the British refused not to have joined us together, but rather they joined us together 108 years after. Some Nigerians don't even understand the meaning of 1914 amalgamation, because all they know is that they were born in Nigeria, and as far as they're concerned, the word Nigeria is their country. There was nothing called Nigeria. Go ask your great-great-grandfather. The whole of Nigeria today is not even up to 200 years old. My school, Abeokuta Grammar School, is older than Nigeria in terms of the year that it was established. And it was established July 16, 1908, from the last time we checked. So let's go further. Colonialism is defined as a control by one power like United Kingdom. They actually control Nigeria for a very, very long time until they now decided to merge Nigeria together, which is one of the worst things that has ever happened to mankind. Let me repeat that again. Colonialism is defined as control by United Kingdom, the British Empire, over the Yoruba territory, the Northern Territory, the Southeast Territory, and the people, which is our great-grandfather that were alive as at that time, because a lot of them died anyway. I mean, I don't know if you still have anybody that is alive from 1914 till date. I don't know in Nigeria. I don't have the record. But what we are saying is that people that were living during that era sustained so much damage from the British Empire, the same country that has now tried to accommodate some of us, but they are now tightening their belt through immigration against some of you. Don't let anybody fool you not to come to Europe or go to abroad. Please find your way abroad, come and live with us, and let us all enjoy. Mr. Victor Adebayo said, the West don't really care about Africans. You are as important to a Western person in as much as you bring value. The Western supremacy is something that we haven't sucked enough. We haven't talked about enough. Thank you so much, sir. It's a terrible time. If some of us knew what the British Empire, I am not saying the British citizen now, I'm talking about that empire. And when we talk about empire, it is not literally even the government. It is all controlled by the king of that era. It's a terrible time. And many of us today still want to love that same empire. Funky_29, thank you so much for watching. A very terrible time in the history of mankind. And today, they still refuse to apologize, even though they're talking about it, according to the Barbados Prime Minister. And it goes further again. King Charles commented that time has come that we acknowledge enduring impact. The word enduring is like somebody that is living in the winter cold like Canada, very bitterly cold. Oh, yeah, does it in UK? Or somebody that is living in Nigeria in the hot weather and their life is becoming very difficult. And they tell you you will go to hellfire. The hellfire is already in Nigeria. During that period, it was a very tough time for our great-great-grandfathers and great-great-grandmothers. Some of you must have heard the story from your family about what they went through as at that period. It was a terrible time in the history of mankind. We're not talking about story here. We're talking about reality of the dead. Some of us have watched Kunta Kinte. How many people have watched Kunta Kinte? That is part of what happened. People were chained. I've seen first-hand videos that some of you will never see. I was not allowed to record them when I went to the Slave Museum in Liverpool, outside London. As I was trying to do some recording, they refused. They told me straight up, you cannot record in this building. Eshegon Mr. Bodeni, that is 1977, Kunta Kinte. The youth of today, have you watched Kunta Kinte? I beg you, go and find out how you can watch it. I understand that we are so carried away. Well, why are you asking all these questions, Chinedu? Sure, you be DSS. I'm not answering your question. All these questions you're asking, listen to the broadcast and stop, diverting our attention here. Sure, you be DSS where they ask me question. I beg. How many people know or have watched Kunta Kinte? Nígbà tí mo fẹ́ máa ṣe recording nínú the Slave Museum, somebody came straight to me and said, you are not allowed to do any recording. You can only watch, and that's all. Mr. Fab, yeah, I'm just going to ignore him. It's just a distraction. And if it's distracting me too much, I'll remove it from the broadcast. The Slave Museum, when you enter it, you can feel the loss of Africa. You will cry. I didn't cry, but you will literally cry, especially in terms of where we should keep one Nigeria. What this country have done during that empire time for 200 years. Don't tell us that we have been given independent and we are free to run our own affairs. They control your waterways. That is how deep what we are discussing. You see that waterway now, the talks are Papa. It is no longer in control of Nigeria. All those ships that bring goods, that sector is another real cartel. Okay, Mrs. Lee said this series was called Root by Alex Halley. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mr. Labi Samuel, good evening. They will not even give you a visa to visit this slave museum. But some of you are thinking that this is like a long time history. We should just abandon it and we should just, no, you can't move on because they've not even apologized for the slave trade. They've not. So, according to the Prime Minister of Barbados, Maya Motley, says Barbados was owed $4.9 trillion, equivalent to 3.9 trillion pounds, by the slave-owning nation. Britain is one of them. So they say they are owing them money. And you think that, getting this freedom will be easy task. It could just happen like that. And we are not fighting. We are just going to do it diplomatic. We're going to be patient a little bit. But the Biafrans have had enough patience with the federal government of Nigeria. Let me read that again. The Barbados Prime Minister says, and I quote, that those that bought slaves and used them for slaves, they must now pay them to the tune of $4.9 trillion. Do you know how much that is in today's money? Do you think that any country will give that money to Barbados? That is just one country. We are not talking about the one way they do for our own end. Mr. Fab said the Caribbean still gives the African attitude here in UK because of the slave trade, because they believe that we sold them out. They believe that we sold them out. And if we look at it, they could be right. I'm asking this question. Do you think that any country will buy slave go release that amount of money? They are not. So what we are fighting is very deep. It's not something you buy in your local store. But if we all agree, without our politicians, we can pull the plug on a short notice on those that are still milking on us, at least to start with. Thank you so much, Lee says. It was actually a book before it was made into a series, first aired in 1977, just as Mr. Bode Olujobi also confirmed here. Roots, Kunta Kunte. Many people don't even know this kind of film anymore because they bastardize us with so much of the new series of, different kind of movies. So we're going to move swiftly because of our time. We're not here all night and we are already 2 hours. Oh, we can't be 2 hours because I actually restart this. I have to check on this one. This one is going to give me the actual time. Yeah, we are 2 hours, 24 minutes. Thank you so much as we continue to do deliverance on this platform. That's what we do. Let's go back to colonialism. We've talked about subjugated, but I haven't given you the full meaning yet.
Subjugate.
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 Bringing under domination or control, especially by conquest. The invaders, the British Empire invaded Africa, killed many of us, our forefathers, destroyed who we are, took our own religion, took our culture, and then gave us Nigeria. And you are now fighting the other indigenous people and say you hate them. Well, especially that's what they want. Is that not something that they want?
Subjugate.
Who are those that were subjugated?
Subjugate.
Me and the rest of those 350 ethnic groups. What does the meaning of
subjugate?
If somebody is asking you to bring under complete control and subjugation, conquer, master, to make submissive or subservient. That is the full meaning. So let's go back to the article one more time. It occurs when one nation, like the Great Britain, was subjugating us, conquering all our population, gave us a false narrative of the censor. The British government rigged the first ever election in Nigeria in 1959 to favor the North. The censor today that they're telling us the northern part of Nigeria is more than us, the British inflated the figure, the numbers. They told us that the North have the numbers, but years down the line, we know now that it was all lies. They actually, infiltrated the numbers. So tó bá sọ fún yín pé North ló pọ̀ jù, ó pọ̀ jù wá lọ, irọ́ nìyẹn, because that is what the British created in our mind in 1959. So as they were preparing for the election that would then decide who becomes the first premier in 1960, while the Zik and Awolowo were working hard, to campaign round, the British were preparing to bring whoever they wanted to bring in to become our first prime minister or whatever they were calling him as at that time. So when some of you today are now saying they are rigging election, look, Bola Tinubu will rig himself in again after 2027. But what happened after Bola Tinubu leaves power in 2031? He will probably be 81 years old. Very, very, a little bit frail. He won't be as strong as he is right now, but we pray for him to have a better health, because we know that Bola Tinubu's health is not that strong. But we don't pray that he died at this time, because Shetima will become president automatically. And that favors the North. By I've not even finished it. Conquering its population and exploiting. The word exploiting is what is still going on in Nigeria today. Oh, move the best doctors, the best nurses, let them come and be cleaning our people here. Take them to Canada. Exploitation. Before they were coming to drive us in large quantity. Now they find money, won't travel now. And please don't let anybody fool you that don't travel abroad. If you can get there, find your way down there. If the thing where they do there, you to go, they do them. I'm not going to be sitting here and telling you, don't japa. Even Bishop Kuka of Shokoto Diocese or whatever say, if you can japa, japa. The country is not working. The European countries knows that. Their children don't care about you and me, because as far as they're concerned, they will only care when they see the impact of humanity being destroyed. But as far as they're concerned, they can't see it physically now. And that is why the Biafrans are pushing heavily, so that they can gain sympathy from around the world. I won't be surprised that very soon people will be protesting in favor and support of the Biafra agitation. There's a silent fight between the federal government and the Biafra on the ground, but it has not escalated to where we will start seeing many dead bodies on the floor. And you will see how people will be moving Biafra flags to show their sympathy for crime against humanity. We will not sit behind and allow such atrocity like it happened in 1967, when over 5 million innocent people were killed. That is not going to be tolerated this time around. And that is why we are highlighting these on a daily basis. While they were exploiting us, Mr. Idris, thank you so much. While they were exploiting us, they were even forcing their own language and cultural values upon us. That is why today, I was watching the beautiful Egungun festival in Akure today. Go to Denmark. My sister, one of my sisters, not Uchichu, another sister in Canada, was showing us how Denmark also performed their own Egungun, their own masquerade festival. But today, a Christian will tell you that is wrong. You don't do it such. It's evil. It's you know, you know, what diabolic. I mean, how can we now get to say that our own culture, our own tradition is diabolic? And in 2023, I saw Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, call him by name, Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK, doing his culture, his Hinduism, before he entered the house that he's going to be living with his family. I was at Chinatown on Wednesday. The video is on the thread on my platform, where before you enter where you go chop food, the Chinese food, they put this, this sculpture, which they put some oil, tap them. But me and you, we walk in there, we don't ask questions. If they put that at any restaurant today, the whole social media will go bust and say Enish as though, I'm just using Enish because that's the name that comes up. It could be 846, it could be any Nigerian African restaurant. Imagine if they put this head and put it outside. Will you go in there and eat? Or will you say, no, as a Christian coming from church to come and have a dinner here, we will not. We will probably just go to Chinese restaurant. And that same Chinese restaurant have the same thing right in the front, but you will overlook it. That is what they did, and that is what we call colonialism. Killed your own culture, forced a language on you. Sorry, I will not verse because my this one on the dry, and I'm still going to have something to drink as well. So, just a short break, even though I'm almost ending the program. That is what they've done. It's a terrible time. A very, very terrible time that many of you today don't even understand what I'm still talking about, because it's like a movie. They play. But our forefathers suffer in the hands. Remember, Bubu Banye is a very bitter cold winter. Some of them were not dressed properly, like today that we are dressing. It was a terrible era. And the whole idea of colonialism is to destroy your language and allow me to be speaking this English as if it's one of the best language in the world. When we get Yoruba, we to come after our sorrow. It's part of what they've done. And this is what colonialism is all about. Make sure we destroy those indigenous people so that anytime whether they do a Gungun festival in your hometown, your pastor say is diabolic. Don't go close to that. It is all the hidden agenda to kill us slowly without knowing. Nothing wrong to be a Christian, nothing wrong to be a Muslim, but we have our own culture and tradition before the colonialism. My name is still Olayomi Koiki. Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Forcing his own language and cultural values upon his people. By 1914, a large majority of the world nation had been colonized by Europeans at some point. What a terrible time in the history of mankind. Did you hear that? By 1914, I'm going to post this particular one. I'm going to share the link again on my X space. And you are now saying, but you're talking about dollar, you're talking about pounds, you're talking about naira, you're talking about... They've destroyed us to the fact that you cannot think. By 1914, which is just less than 108 years ago, that is when they amalgamate Nigeria. It says, and I quote, by 1914, a large majority of the world nation had been colonized. The British Empire ruled for 200 years. So much was destroyed. But today, many of you do not want us to talk about it because as far as you're concerned, we should just move on with our lives. No, we're not moving on with our lives. It has affected us and it is still affecting us. And that is why you are dying as a Nigerian while I am saying we're not Nigerians and we are having friction. It is part of what they've done. And that is why the British was one of the 9 countries that refused to sit down during the 1514 declaration of the Declaration on Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and People. Is a General Assembly Resolution of United Nations 1514. You can Google it. Britain, America, South Africa, Australia, Portugal, that's the one I can remember offhand, were all absent during this resolution. And what this resolution stands for? It says, and I quote, declares that the subjection of the people to align subjugation, domination, exploitation, constitute a denial of fundamental human rights is contrary to the Charter of the United Nations. Today, we all japa. Please, if you can japa, I beg japa. That is the second slavery we are all doing today. And we are going to do it very well. It has cost me my own side. So I don't care whoever is planning to japa. As far as you can get to wherever you are going, good luck to you. I have lived in Europe for 25 years. And it took 15 years of my life just to try and get document. One document where I'm going to use, travel, go Nigeria, come back, come do slave, come back, pretend, say I get money for Europe, look good. I mean, it gives us the leverage as against the madness on the other side. Because after they've destroyed us, now they want us to come here when everything is in the territory. But that territory doesn't belong to Nigeria because Nigeria was borrowed and forced on us. That is the whole idea. Mr. Peter Pan says, I ask my religious brothers one simple question. If while man knows the road to heaven, do we think in our brain cells he will share it with a black man? It was a painful era, and we are all still feeling the pain today. But it's just that the pain is different. Some of you are even telling us to go and sit down. Well, at least I have everything that can sustain me till Christmas. But this kitchen, if I transport it to a family of 4, and husband and wife, you can eat. The only thing you just need to buy gas. I'll give you my freezer. I give you everything in my kitchen with my backup. I have a backup, food that can last me and my family for 3 months in case there's an emergency. Because I don't trust the world that we are living today. So I stock that away, at least for the first 3 months. Water, canned food, whatever, spaghetti, things that can last, that I just need to keep updating it. If I deliver that to you in your Nigeria, you can eat it for the next 1 year. Continue to live in denial that Nigeria is going to work. It has failed, and that is what colonialism wanted. Again, I read again. By 1914, and I want to post this in my community. By 1914, most of the European countries today, some of them are not even up to a population of our village. Go and look at them. They are the one at the parliament telling us what to do, what not to do, advising us. Some of you now asking me, because I'm asking, donate to Igboho, you want me to send you his own personal account because I am not Rishi Sunak. The Prime Minister of Scotland today, or the First Minister, we are not age mates. I believe I'm older than him. Let me see, how old is Rishi Sunak self? How old is Rishi Sunak? Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak. How old? Can you imagine? Rishi Sunak was born in 1980. The current Prime Minister of this country. He was born on the 12th of May 1980. He's currently 43 years old. He's making a decision that has either good or bad impact for us in UK and the world that we are living today. But a man like me now, I'm coming out to talk, and he say, go on, shut up, go and sit down. I'm older than him. You can see why some of us sometimes say there's a problem with the medulla oblongata of many Nigerians. You now, where they're born in 1990, you are still licking the ass of many of these politicians. Rishi Sunak was born in 1980. He was born at a general hospital, not a private hospital. He was born in Southampton General Hospital. How many of you know that if you born your children for a general hospital where you know go die, or I mean, even they do baby swap, all kind of abnormality that we can't hear before. We are hearing it in today's Nigeria. Somebody born Peking, they don't change the baby, they don't take the baby away, they don't take the placenta away. Things that we've never had before in the history of that shit hole country. And that is the country that you expect to work. How? Which way? Rishi Sunak is just 1.7 in height. Education, he went to Stanford Graduate School of Business in 2006, Lincoln College in 1998/2001, Winchester College. Many of you have studied more than him. All you're doing is POS and Okada. And when we're sitting here telling you that it shouldn't be like that, and you're going to let yourself go find a job. This guy no get a job. And you forget that self-employed is part of a job. I am one of those contributors to this country. How long have we got left? Because I think I'm getting tired myself. 15 minutes. So we're almost there. Don't go yet. We're almost there. So all I can say is that in 1914, the painful part of history started falling on us. Ali Gborawaye nínú Nigeria, ẹ jẹ́ n sọ Yoruba for the next 10 minutes. Ali Gborawaye kò ń ṣépè. Don't let any pastor, wòlíì, babaláwo, oníṣègùn fool you and say, a máa Gborawaye, a máa jà, tá ní Gborawaye lójoojúmọ́ ni. There will be problems and problems and problems that nobody, not a single prayer can solve it. The prayer that can solve it now is for everybody to be dissolved and go their separate ways. Happy Sunday, Mr. Wasiu Taiwo. God bless Biafra. God bless Arewa. God bless Yoruba land. Facebook reduce our post and engagement because I don't talk about sexual explicit. It is not our content. And this is not Gist Lover. This is self-determination platform. The one where go open your ears and your mind and you go start thinking. Koiki Oshobo man here 43 years old, Prime Minister. Don't let all these baba where they don't become 70 and 60 tell us say it is still gonna be until they die. That's what they were telling you. And some of them have died anyway. And some of them have chopped inside Nigeria. Proxies. He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Ask how. They've all sunk our natural resources. Oyinbo go take 50%, the rest they share it among themselves. There will never be development closer to you within the next 60 years if we remain in Nigeria. Don't let them fool you like Senator Jimo, the one with the Undo. Don't let them fool you because Akeredolu has some cans. I think he's in a vegetable state. I don't think Akeredolu can even stand up anymore because the way I'm saying it now is like they just package him like Tinubu is being packaged. Akeredolu, as far as I'm concerned, probably is in a vegetable state, but he's not letting go. He can't return to Ondo State. He's sitting in Ibadan because if he returns to Ondo State, they'll probably find out more about him. That is the kind of leadership you're looking for. Or you're waiting for Fayemi. You will all wait for a very long time. What is the solution? Kini solution? Mr. Koiki. All this your talk. What is the solution? The solution is everybody comes and say enough is enough. But we are not getting enough people to say enough is enough because you refuse to endorse and support the right of the people that are saying enough is enough. And that is the problem. May God help us if only we're going to help ourselves. Yes, we can pray towards, what kind of problem to happen to the north. Like they keep, I pray that they don't bring food to us so that maybe that will first start the wahala. I don't know. But one thing will lead to something. Don't worry about all this obedience shouting. Let them shout. Articulated, they're going to shout. Tinubu is not going anywhere. He will rig himself again in the next 4 years, and he will return power back to the north if he doesn't break Nigeria. But a lot of Yoruba people want to break it so that to make things easy. Do I believe that? I don't. That is my own personal opinion. So I'm going to read quickly from here because the time is now to 1:54 a.m. and I think I'm getting tired. So we're going to end it even maybe before 3. So I'm going to start winding down. By 1914, a large majority of the world's nation had been colonized by the Europeans at some point. Japan, Korea, Thailand are the only nations never to have been colonized by Europeans. You can see why they are doing very well. Showing Bomi. Japan, Korea, Thailand, ìlú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn are the only other nations never to have been colonized by Europeans. The concept of colonialism is closely linked to that of imperialism, which is the policy or ethos of using power and influence to control another nation or people that are underlies colonialism. We are Commonwealth citizens. Which kind of Commonwealth citizen? Commonwealth citizen where you know if you enter UK. Why are we being fooled? Mr. Peter said the generalization that they fought the Biafra war were indeed courageous compared to this generation. This man went on to say it is documented fact that the unity of Nigeria is at stake because the country shows no sign of uniting according to the former President Goodluck Jonathan, which is a very good statement. Who you want to unite? The solution is going to be basketballs, but many of you don't want us to say it that way, and that is why I have not even said it anymore. My job now is just to educate, highlight the problems from the perspective of what I learned and what I'm still learning, because you have to keep learning. My mom went back to university at the age of 70. Never stop learning. Let's stick on that before we start moving away. 3 countries. Let's look at those 3 countries quickly. And the party programming, like I said, is a refresher we're going to do to the end of the year. Let's look at Japan quickly. Japan, 125.7 million. Japan is an island country in the East Asia that refused to be colonized by all these corrupt countries that came to colonize us. Korea is another country. It has now been divided to south and north. So let's click on the south because that seems to be much of the area. So South Korea, officially the Republic of Korea, is a country again in East Asia. It constitutes southern part of the Korean Peninsula, 51.96 million. Babakitoye was there in 1982 telling them that Nigeria is already moving forward. Actually, that is all lies. Nigeria was a stagnant water that is not going anywhere. It has dragged me back. It has dragged you back. Some of us are looking fresh and cool is because of the weather, and we have the privilege to be away from Nigeria. You can as well have been in Nigeria and look very cool, but unfortunately, your life and my life have been bastardized by this problem that we've been highlighting. So the only option on the table is it is time that we all ask for the right to self-determination. My name is Olami Koike. I hope you've enjoyed the program. One more time, if you want to support the Igboho support, it will lock until Monday when we're going to transfer all the money to him. He has already sent his appreciation. But like I said to him, we should be saying thank you to you because you stood with us. We pray that Nnamdi Kanu will be released this month, at least. That will then start having a conversation between the Biafra and the government. If that does not happen, I don't know what the Prime Minister is going to do. Prophet Emmanuel says Sunday Igboho is the president of Yoruba nation. As I leave you today, Peter Pan say, ash, ash at the stagnant water comment. I'll be back again for the Sunday broadcast. I don't know what time, but definitely I'll be back. But like I said, I am not the best. We're trying our best. May God bless Biafra. May God bless Amazonia. May God bless Scottish. May God bless the Welsh. May God bless all those that want to be free from the bondage of any country that is holding their lives. And may God bless the Yoruba people. May God bless our territory. My name is Olami Koike. I'm checking out now. If I didn't mention your name, thank you so much. I love you all. Good night.